We had a carjacking ring. I put a button down, shirt on, go to the dealership. I have a pistol on me, and we go for test drive. And doing the test drive, we snatch your ass out the motherfucking foreign cars and take them to the chop shop. So I've never said this on any platform before ever. The first time I got in trouble was for a strong arm robbery. There's a little white guy who had a mongoose bike and I wanted it, and I just strong armed his ass.
How old were you?
12.
This is in your neighborhood, or did you go to another neighborhood?
We had to go to the white neighborhood. Come on, man. They don't got no good fucking mongooses over there where the black people stay at, bro. I had to go out by Waterford, Michigan. I went out to where white people live at, where they have good shit. Right, saying? So I saw a little white kid on the bike, and I strong armed his ass for the fucking bike and took the fucking bike. Yeah. That's my first
caught catch.
Fuck yeah, I got about a block and a half, and the police. You don't go in white neighborhoods stealing shit from white boys and think you're going to ride into the sunset. No, going into Waterford, Michigan, it's kind of like, so whatever just think about the whitest white suburb.
Right.
Into metropolitan.
I'm thinking the one I grew up in.
Right. So imagine, you're right, they already have eyes on you anyway. I didn't know this. They already as soon as they see you walk into the neighborhood, they don't belong there. This is 1984. This is not now where neighborhoods are like mixed, right? They knew you didn't belong there. I think I got about a block and a half.
So what happened? So you grab the bike, you get caught. Do you go to
Juvenile? Yeah.
How long?
I think I spent 3 weeks. 3 weeks the first time. I went in there and
you decided, you know what, this isn't for me.
No,
I'm not doing this anymore.
That never crossed my mind.
I'm going back to school. I'm going to study.
No.
I'm going to get my degree in CPA.
No, it never crossed my mind. Right.
I'm going to be a lawyer.
No,
this is a good experience.
Once you get locked up,
you're either all in or all out, right?
No. So once you get locked up, it is truly a university full of people who are trying to perfect being criminals.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're locked up at 12 years old, you're around 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. They are more seasoned than you are. So it was nothing about don't do it again. There was no lesson to be learned. It was the lessons I learned by listening to the stories were be a better criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Try something different. Oh, you should have never did that. You should have waited till you should have caught him at the BMX track and took it, and it was the BMX track is closer to the hood. You would have made it home with the bike versus going out into the neighborhood. You were too deep into the white neighborhood. Are you fucking crazy? So that's what it was.
Or throw the bike in the bushes and then just walk home and go back for it later.
Yeah, all that kind of shit. No, so the thought of no, it never crossed my mind. Not one time, not once. The thought of maybe I should have done it never crossed my mind, because the desire to have a bike like that it outweighed the consequences of what would happen if I got caught. And that is the story of my life in its entirety, right? I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get what I need to get. To hell with the consequences. And that nobody's ever asked me that question before, mind you, right? So as I sit back and think about it, no, I never crossed my mind not to do it again. I'm in there. It's about doing it better, doing it in a way. It's like you get an education. You should have did that. You should have did this, right? And when you're surrounded by people who all are locked up for a crime, it's never about don't do it. It's never about you come from a good household, your mom loves you. It's never that. Not in the urban environment. It's never that. It's always be a better criminal.
So what does your mom do?
She worked at for General Motors, and she owned her own beauty salon as well.
So did you continue to see your dad, or?
No. After I saw him, after the divorce, I saw him twice in my preteen adolescence, and then I didn't see him again until I came home from prison. I saw him once before he passed away.
So this is the guy that had raised you up to the age of 8 and left.
Yes, yeah.
And you're calling him your dad, but later you found out.
At 15, I found out that he wasn't my dad. My mom told me the truth, that he wasn't my father.
How does that happen?
Well, I want to say that I had sneaky suspicions.
Right.
Because I don't look like my brothers, right? My brothers they're generally speaking, they're light skinned. They're smaller in stature than I am. And they have like brown and gray eyes. And I look nothing like them. So I grew up wondering why I didn't look like my 3 older brothers. So I want to say I had sneaking suspicions, but I had no clue because it was like one of the best kept secrets in the world back then. See, secrets didn't just start in this generation or even the previous generation. Secrets in terms of whose kid is whose and who cheated and who where the infidelity started and where it came from. That shit's been going on for a lifetime. So I've always wondered why I didn't look like my 3 older brothers, but I never
that
imagined.
happens all the time. But who? That could be anything.
Yeah,
Like,
they should always say you look more like your mom
Yeah.
than you do your dad type thing. And I bit down on that and I digested that and it just was what it was. I looked more like my mom than my dad, or so I thought. That was the story he was telling me because I think I asked one time, why don't I look like my brothers? And she like, well, you look more like me. Your mom loves you and blah, 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 blah. And that was cool for me.
Yeah.
That was cool enough for me. I bit down on that shit, hook, line, and sinker.
Let me get him off this subject as quick
get
as
me off the
possible.
subject. Yeah, absolutely. And so I can remember growing up, I found out at 15 that the person who I thought was my father wasn't my father. She told me. And what happened is that when I look back at it, when you're a kid, you hear conversations, but you don't know.
Mhm.
So I can remember conversations between my mom, my aunts, and some of my mom's closest friends. And I can remember walking into a room and they hushed up, but the conversation was about, I was able to hear pieces of the conversation. And pieces of the conversations were like, why don't you just tell him?
Mhm.
He ain't shit no way. Meaning the person who I thought was my father.
Yeah.
He ain't shit no way. Why don't you just tell him? That was what my aunts and some of my mom's friends were saying. And I caught wind of that conversation maybe 3 or 4 times, but I had no clue of what it meant. So when she did tell me,
Kind of clicked.
it clicked. Everything that I thought, every clue, I call it like a Scooby-Doo clue, right? I examined everything.
Right.
And I remember those conversations like they were yesterday. And those conversations, some of them happened 5, 6, 7, 8 years prior to her telling me. Everything just came rushing back. I was examining everything. Every conversation, I was playing it back in my mind. And every conversation.
Suddenly the whole picture was
It all
there. It'd been
makes
there the
sense.
whole time. You're kind of
Yeah,
like,
it
now
all-
it all makes sense.
It all
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, it all makes sense. So when he moved back down to Alabama, he took my 3 older brothers with him. I stayed with my mom. And it was, we came from, I won't say affluence, but I came from a 2-parent household, owned our own home. We were one of the, in terms of, I lived in the hood, but we were like hood rich. We had, my brothers had go-karts and mini bikes, and we had campers and boats. We went on trips. We would go down south regularly, a couple times a year during school breaks. And so when my mother and father got divorced, my mother had to pay my father alimony, right? And she had to pay him child support.
Because he
Because
he
he took my 3 older brothers, he took them with him. So she had to pay him alimony because she was making the most money because she owned a hair salon and she worked in the plant and he was a truck driver. So she made more money than him. So she had to pay him alimony and child support for my 3 older brothers. I didn't have a clue about that until.
Did you guys have to move out of the house? Did you have to
Yeah.
move? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we ended up losing our house. My older brother got in trouble. He had caught armed robbery and kidnapping charge. And so in order to save him, he had did all this crazy shit he was 16 when it happened. He was with guys who were like 18, 19 years old. And the 18, 19, the grown guys told on him.
All
So
right.
they were going to send him to prison. They were going to try him as an adult and send him to prison. So my mom mortgaged the house was paid for. She took out a loan against the house to pay for his legal expenses, and she saved him because he didn't go to prison. He went to the training school. He did like 2, 3 years in training school and came home.
When did you meet your real dad? Sorry, you went on the Vlad interview. You just skated right over this. When did you? Because you said it turns out your real dad. You kind of knew him. You actually knew who he was.
I saw him in the neighborhood, and he used to speak to me. And I can remember one time I was at my mom's cousin's house, and he pulled up, and he said something to me. Back then, it was like a Boy Scout thing. Like Boy Scouts were doing. There was a bunch of graping going on with the Boy Scouts when I grew up. So we was like, my mom was like anti-Boy Scout. You ain't going to no camps, none of that kind of, because we can't trust it, right? So I saw him. He pulled up in front of my mom's cousin's house. Her name was Vanessa, and he spoke to me. And at that point in time, I'm like, 'cause I was taught don't talk to strangers and all that kind of stuff, right? So he looked right at me and he spoke to me. He was just sitting there in the car, right? He knew who I was. He knew I was his son the whole time.
Yeah.
He was married. My mom was married. And so he knew the entire time that I was his son. And the person who I thought was my father knew the entire time that I wasn't his son, right? He went out and made a baby. My mother said, fuck you, right? We're not together anymore. So even though they were married, they were not together.
Right.
Right.
So it was like a separation.
It was like a separation type thing. Yeah, absolutely. So it was 1986, 1987 when I was 15 years old. She told me 1987, but it was like March. Her birthday was March 21st. She told me at her birthday party, when everybody left, she told me she wanted, because I was getting into trouble. But I started getting locked up in 84. I started catching robbery cases in 84. I kept on getting in trouble. I think that because I didn't have contact with the person who I thought was my father, I think that her friends and my aunts probably convinced her, like, listen, he's getting in trouble. It's only gonna get worse. You already had one son, your oldest son already went down that road. He always wanted to be a part of my life, but my mom said no. Even after the divorce, she still said no. Because it was a secret that she didn't want to admit to.
Yeah.
Right?
She's been saying this the whole
The
time.
whole
Plus,
time.
I'm thinking, mentally, what does that do as far as trusting people? That all the people in my life that that I could trust my mom and dad, that both of them are lying to me about this. That might have some problem. That might have some psychological damage. Maybe she was worried about that too.
I don't think she's worried about me. I think she's more worried about herself. A lot of times when adults tell lies to cover up stuff, they're concerned about maintaining that lie because of what it means to them. They're not necessarily concerned about, I reject the whole concept of you're going to continue to tell a lie because of how it's going. I know there are some situations where if the truth of the matter comes out, it may affect somebody, but I believe that human beings are motivated by the lie is to make them feel better. The lie is not to make whatever the situation is. It's not to make me feel better. It's to make her feel better. Because my father had several kids outside of his marriage that he took care of and that he raised without any problem. So it wasn't like he wouldn't have took care of me. Mm-hmm. It was just that he was married, she was married. So I think it was embarrassment that led that kind of like inspired the secret,
right? And
that perpetuated the secret over years. I was getting into so much trouble. I think that her friends and my aunts and other people in the family had told her, "Hey, listen, you might need to tell him who his real father." In fact, I know that's what happened. I kept on the trouble I was getting into, it was escalating. It went from just strong on robbery to armed robbery. I was committing armed robberies at 14, 15 years old. And when I was so in Michigan, they were not waiving you as an adult. Like, so in Michigan, I grew up in a time where most of the drug crews in my city and even in Detroit, back then you can be 15, 16 years old and kill somebody and not go to prison. You at most, you would go to the training school, BTS or WJ Maxey or Green Oaks. You can kill somebody literally, like up until 1989 in Michigan. You can kill somebody. First, I can walk up to you and shoot you in your face at 15 years old, and they couldn't send me to prison. They would send me to WJ Maxey, which is a boys training school.
It's like a
Green Oaks.
boot camp?
Like a punk prison, like a child. It was like a kid. It was like a prison for juveniles. It was a juvenile prison. So you can literally shoot somebody in the face at 15 years old. They didn't start waiving juveniles as adults until 1988, 1989. So most of the people in the city of Detroit who were the biggest gangsters, who were in drug crews, would run around just killing people, and White Boy Rick Day. In the White Boy Rick Day, White Boy Rick was 15, 16 years old selling keys. The people who he's beefing with, some of them were grown, but most of his contemporaries were 15, 16, 17 years old, killing people in broad daylight.
Yeah, because there's no repercussions.
No repercussions for it. And then that's how you made your bones. You would kill somebody, do a couple of years in training school, come back home. You would be home at 19. That was the old law. It can hold you up to you 19, and they had to let you go. So you could have killed somebody at 16. They can only hold you to your 19 and let you go. So I think that her fear of me just becoming more and more aggressive and doing more and more crazy shit, I think that's what inspired her to tell me. And she asked him first. if it was okay. And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I want, that's my son.
Right.
I wish I could have had a relationship with him, but I couldn't because that wasn't your desire.
Right. So what happened? Did you ever meet him and
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
to him? And
She told me in March of 87 who he was. And so I was born on a street called Sanford. Him and my half brother, my half sister, half brothers that lived 2 blocks over from me, between the same 2 streets. I grew up knowing who they were, but not knowing who they were.
Mm-hmm.
So when she told me who he was, she said his name. His name was Gravy. They called him Gravy. I remember my friend who I used to go to the boys club with, their father's name is Gravy. So I'm like, Gravy. Like, I mean, Trina and Eric and Wayne stay on Edith. I'm from Sanford. Like, yeah, that's him. So I'm 15 years old. I have been knowing, and then it flashed back. I remember seeing him. That's why. So when I saw him outside of her cousin's house and he spoke to me, my cousin seen it. She called my mom. My mom came rushing over and cussed him out. I didn't know what the cuss out was about.
Right.
But the cuss out was about, I heard her saying to him, stay the fuck away from my son. But it didn't compute. I didn't know. I thought maybe he was like some type of fucking or something. I didn't know, some type of pervert or something. I didn't know. Right? But he used to always put eyes on, he knew where I was. He knew where we lived at. And he used to always, he made it his business to try to.
So he was kind of there lingering, hoping maybe.
Yeah, he has eyes on me. And
it's just never.
Yeah, and here's a little known fact. He was a police officer. He was a police officer. And he was one of the most...
It's ironic.
Yeah, he was one of the most powerful police officers in the city of Pontiac. I've never told the story before, right? His name was Willie Wilson, a.k.a. Gravy. He was one of the coolest police officers on the Pontiac Police Department. Most of the gangsters in the city of Pontiac, where I was born and raised at, where I grew up at, they all knew him. He was cool. He was the kind of guy who would tell you, hey, you hot. Go sit your ass down somewhere. Your name's on the hot list. Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So he was going, when I would get in trouble and go to court, my mom would call him and he would come to court and talk to the judge on my behalf. And I didn't even know that he was my father.
Right.
So before they would bring me to the courtroom, he would be in judge's chambers with my mom. And so the system knew that he was my father.
Everybody knew but you.
But me.
So once she tells you, do you go talk to him? You go, is he now kind of a part of your life? Or did he then become a part of your life? Or it still was kind of too late? You were already...
Oh, she gave me his phone number and I called him. This was 87. She gave me his phone number. I called him. I talked to him. He's real cool, like really nonchalant, really kind of like, he was a soft-spoken guy. He was the kind of guy to where because of who he was and what he did for a living, what he said is what he said. Mm-hmm. He had a real authoritarian voice. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he said, he's not used to hollering and yelling. So I talked to him over the phone. I didn't actually meet him until 1989. This is the first time I met him. I went to his house to meet him. Mm-hmm. Right? I went to his house because he still stayed in the same house that I knew he stayed in. When I was a kid, I went to his house to meet him. I knocked on the door. All my brothers and sisters were there. I had a brother who went to the military. He was home. He had just finished basic training. He went to the Marines, and so he had just finished basic training. So he was home before he went back. And I met my 2 brothers, Eric and Wayne. I met my sister Trina. They were all there in the house. They were all adults, but they were all just so happened to be over there. And I had an opportunity to meet them. And I met him for the first time. I talked to him, and he was just like, "Hey, what you got going on?" It was not a complicated conversation. He was like, "Hey, what you got going on? Staying out of trouble?" Right? And even then, I didn't know that he was going into the court before I got there.
Right.
Trying to like run interference for me. You know what I'm saying? So just what it was. I had the opportunity to talk to him maybe 4 or 5 times before I went to prison. He would send me money. He would find me. I was still getting locked up. I was still robbing and thugging and acting a fool. The kind of things I found myself into, the kind of crimes I was committing, it was the kind of things that he couldn't just save me from.
Yeah.
Right. I amped up that shit. I was shooting and robbing and looting, and it was just to that level to where I went to the training school. I was acting a fool.
What was the next time that you did something else? right away?
Robbery.
Yeah. Was it like a robbery? Like,
Robbery, yeah. Next time, I started robbing drug dealers at about 14, 15 years old.
Everybody needs a good pair of jeans. What I like about the Perfect Jean is that the moment you put them on, they feel like sweatpants. They don't ever pinch or bind up. As a matter of fact, they're super stretchy. There's never any point where you feel like they're binding up on you or they're tight or they pinch you or anything like that. They're comfortable in pretty much any position that you sit in. They're really great. They're comfortable and they look great. And the best part is our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectjeans.nyc or Google The Perfect Jeans and use promo code COX15 for 15% off. Normally, a good pair of jeans costs anywhere between $150 to $200, but The Perfect Jeans are reasonably priced at $79.99. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectjean.nyc and use promo code COX15 for 15% off. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code COX15. Please support our channel and tell them we sent you. F your khakis. Get the Perfect Jean.
Because I quickly learned that I'm thinking they can't tell on me because they're drug dealers. How are you going to tell on me when there's drugs? What are you going to do? Call and say, hey, he took my
right.
No, you can't. What are you going to do? Right? So I quickly went into robbing drug dealers because in my mind, and I formulated this conclusion by myself. I don't think anybody kind of like inspired me to do this shit. I just watched it. My mother got on drugs. So I had a grudge against all drug dealers. When I was 12, at 12, my mother started, the first time I ever got locked up, my mother started using drugs when I was 12 years old. So she went from being the hardworking, beautiful person that I grew up loving and admiring. My mother was my first love, right? She was the hardest working person I knew. So to see her get on drugs, it kind of like, it crushed me because I knew, it wasn't like she was on drugs my entire life. I knew how beautiful a person she was prior to the drugs.
You watched the effect.
I watched it, right? So I had a grudge against all drug dealers. So that's what inspired me to say, you know what? I'm finna start sticking these bitches up. So that's just what I did. I started sticking up drug dealers. And on top of that, how are you gonna tell on me?
All right.
What are you gonna tell the police I took your dope?
You know what's funny? I wrote a story called Cash Logistics. These two brothers, and one of him, same thing that you just said. His mom had gotten on drugs and was dating the drug dealers, and he would see it. He's like, I just despise these motherfuckers. And he was probably 14 or 15, the first guy he robbed. And remember, Vlad asked you in that interview. He said, "Well, I mean, you're like 13 years old. Like if a 13-year-old tried to rob me, I'd just be like, you get out of here. You're joking."
Yeah,
you said, "Yeah, but I had
a pistol."
And that's what he did. He had a gun, but he actually had a gun. And the guy was like, "Fuck you. You ain't gonna do nothing." And he was like, "What?" And the guy goes, "Fuck you," and turned around to walk away. He shot him in the ass. And he said, "Oh, I've shot." And I go, "You shot him in the ass?" He said, "Man, I've shot a lot of people in the ass." He said, I was like, he said he hit the ground, started screaming, threw out everything he had. He picked it all up.
Now you know I'm serious.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. Now you know I'm serious.
Right.
Yeah. So that's exactly what happened to me. Right? Because when you're young like that, they can tell. Older people can tell you're young.
Yeah.
And their first thought process is they don't respect that you're young.
Yeah,
Get your little bitch
you're
ass
13,
out of
14,
here.
yeah,
What are you
come
gonna
on.
do?
do with that? No, but see, what you don't know, in my mind, I played out robbing you before I robbed you. Like the Larry Bird effect. Larry Bird said he practiced shooting free throws in his mind before he ever took a physical shot. So I practiced in my mind robbing. I played it out in my mind long before I ever did it. Long before I ever had the courage to actually pull it off. Because it takes courage. It takes moxie,
Yeah.
right, to do it.
So how long does that go on before you get into serious trouble? Like you get arrested again?
I was getting caught back to back. I think
But there's just no real deterrent,
No,
right?
I
It's
wasn't-
a few weeks here, a few weeks there.
No, I was getting locked up. So what happened was between the ages of 12 and 17, I think I was free maybe a year and a half, 3 months here, a month here. I would get locked up. I would get caught. I would get locked up for 3 months or 2 months or 90 days, get out. The longest I was ever free between 12 and 17, I think it was 45 days was the longest stretch I ever went free without getting locked back up. So I spent 90% of my teen years from 12 to 17, I spent 12 to 19, because I ended up shooting my stepfather for hitting my mama.
Mm-hmm.
So I think from 12 to 19, I think I was free, maybe a year and a half from 12 to 19.
Are you going to like? So what? You're going to high school or in?
I never made it. I was locked up. I got locked up. I think I was in the 6th grade. I was 12.
Yeah.
6th, 7th grade. The first time I ever got locked up.
But when you go to these institutions, they
have school.
They have school, but
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of get back into it, right? So do you end up getting your GED or
I ended up getting my GED. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't finish high school. You know.
you're being locked up? You're getting out, and these are all robberies. You never get it. You never start selling drugs, nothing
No.
like that. It's always just robberies.
All robberies.
Ridiculous.
I'm a fanciful robber. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up loving Billy the Kid. Right? That's not a good thing either. Right?
No.
Right? Because listen, I didn't grow up watching all the black exploitation movies where people were getting robbed and all that kind of shit. I grew up admiring Billy the Kid, Babyface Nelson, Bonnie and Clyde. I grew up watching the classic Great American Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
The Great American Heroes are the Jesse James, you know what I'm saying, the Billy the Kid. Those were my first. I always admired the criminals. I always admired the bank robbers, the train robbers, the stagecoach robbers. I always admired that because they had heart out of this world. To gallop on you and stick, the odds were against them.
Mm-hmm.
So I always admired Billy the Kid. So I think I was a Billy the Kid fan. So,
Most of these guys have a run of just a few, like Bonnie and Clyde was like 18 months
Right.
before they were just gunned down. They didn't even try and pull them over. They just gunned them down. I mean, it's
because they knew what was. So I wanted to be that. I wanted to be that dangerous, right? Because the environment that I was living in. So at 15, I moved from Pontiac to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I was already
with your mom.
No, I
Okay.
moved by myself. You know what I'm saying? I didn't move. My mom never left Pontiac. I moved by myself. I moved to Detroit to sell drugs. My godfather was my godbrother was in the drug crew. So I moved from Pontiac to Detroit to sell drugs.
Okay.
That's why I moved down there. So I moved in March of '87. So I moved to Detroit by myself
Specifically knowing you're going there.
to sell drugs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happens with that? I mean, or is this like a street level dealing, or is this,
I was in the crew. I went to the east side of Detroit, in the Van Dyke Harper area, and that's why I first started. That's the first time I ever sold drugs was on the east side of Detroit. I went down there to sell drugs to make money.
Mhm.
Right at that point in time, because I kept on getting locked up, so I figured I needed a change of venue.
Right.
I needed to change the venue. So my god brother I met my god brother. We made each other's god brother in the youth home. So that's why I met him at. So when I got released, he said, "Man, you need to come down here with me." You know what I'm saying? Because he knew what my home life was unstable. My mother was on drugs. I didn't really have anywhere to go. So I went down there with him to sell drugs, and it was just a different level. I was already extremely violent and extremely aggressive because I was already robbing. I had already been to youth home 4 or 5 times. I'm already in the youth home fighting. I already knew. And so what happens is I was from Oakland County. So it's Wayne County, which is Detroit. Then you have Oakland County, which is where Pontiac is, right? So I met a lot of guys who are from Detroit in Oakland County because when you cross 8 Mile, you've heard 8 Mile with
Yeah.
the Eminem. When you cross 8 Mile, you're in Oakland County. And so wherever you do, you're going to either the Oakland County Children's Village, which is youth home, or you're going to OCJ, Oakland County Jail. So I grew up in the youth home with guys who were from Detroit who had made the mistake of crossing Oakland County to do whatever crime they were doing, and they would send them to Oakland County. So I knew a bunch of guys from Detroit just by being locked up in placements in the youth home and stuff like that. So I came to Detroit to sell dope. And the guys who I was with, my god brother and all of them, they wasn't just selling dopes, they were robbers too.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt I'm already
These are your people.
yeah. I'm right at home with this robbery
Right.
shit. Right? Because they were robbing too. They would sell your dope and then take your dope back from you. So that's right up my alley. Sell them the drugs, then catch them and take the drugs back.
Is this just other users or is other drug dealers or drug crews where you find out?
Yeah, but see, so listen, dope fiends now,
Yeah.
they were not, back then, a dope fiend would kill you,
Uh-huh.
right? It's not like it is now. We can just kick him in the ass and just treat him like anything. But this is the beginning of the crack era. This
Right.
is 86, 87. Crack is new. right? So back then, the first crack addicts were ex-drug dealers.
Right.
They were not pushovers. That's the biggest misconception when it comes to when we see crackheads now. We think about Pookie from New Jack City.
Yeah.
Nah, dude. Back then, the crackheads were the OGs. They were the neighborhood gangsters who were tweaking their nose and they didn't have a clue how addictive crack was. So the first wave of crackheads in the ghetto, they would kill your motherfucking ass. They were gangsters who just get hooked on drugs. So no, we were robbing. There was nothing to robbing them, and we would rob other drug dealers. We would plan it out, scope it out, and then back then it was like drug crews, right? It's not like it is now where anybody can go sell drugs. You can pull up in the neighborhood and sell drugs. No, back then it was territories, and so you had to be a part of a crew. You just couldn't pull up in somebody's neighborhood in Detroit and start selling crack or heroin. You were going to die.
Mm-hmm.
You had to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you can just do whatever you want to do right now because this is open season, right? You have the muscle. But back then, you couldn't you had to know somebody to sell drugs in a particular environment. If not, you're going to find yourself dead.
Like these robberies, are you guys just like busting in these houses or just kind of waiting for them to leave? Like
Are these home invasions or?
No, so the whole thing is we would catch them out and about. Sometimes spots. So a spot was a house or house. Yeah, we would run up and we'd kick that motherfucker in up and then tear their ass up. Yeah, exactly. But the guys are four corner hustling back then too. So it was like you had neighborhoods where you can pull up. The majority of the time, it was a spot. You didn't have. It wasn't like Chicago where it was an open air market. The drug dealing was confined to houses in the city of Detroit. You had neighborhoods where you had strips, but in Detroit back then, in 85, 86, 87, it was drug houses. It was drug. So whenever, if one drug crew was to get into it with another drug crew, the first thing we would do is burn your spot down. Burning your spot down would be, that was war. That's an act of war.
I was just thinking about, remember Black Label? Yeah, it was the same thing. Like he's talking about like this was your neighborhood. That was these 5 blocks or 3 blocks and these 3 blocks. They're talking about they're kidnapping people and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. So when you look at, if you've ever been to Detroit, when you look at the decline of the neighborhoods, right? Mm-hmm. When you look at the effect of the crack era is what destroyed the black neighborhoods in the city of Detroit. Because, so we call it the drug war. The drug war is like, when you think about the white boy Ricks and all that other kind of shit, so there's a big misconception when it comes to white boy Rick, right? The white boy in the black city. No, white boy Rick was a stumped down killer. All this shit about white boy Rick was protected by some of the most dangerous people in the city of Detroit. He had a whole crew of killers that you couldn't touch him. He was a plug. He had access to shit. So it wasn't just what you see in the movies. And I don't give a fuck what nobody tell you. I was there. I moved to Detroit.
Well, they're trying to make him a sympathetic character.
No, bro. White boy Rick was a fucking killer, bro. Right? Oh, he's a white boy amongst all them black people, all them niggas. No. White boy Rick would kill your ass. And the people who were protecting him, he was protected. Brother, in 1986, Detroit had over 1 million people. The city was 70% black. A white boy could not exist in the city of Detroit selling keys. He wasn't selling ounces. He was selling kilograms of. There's no way you can exist without getting robbed. And they were trying to kill him.
Right.
But he had a crew of people who were just as violent and just as vicious as the people who was trying to kill him. And you hear stories about people trying to kill him? Yeah, but he had a crew of motherfuckers who were extremely dangerous.
Well, it's Hollywood. When they do the movie, they always
don't listen to that shit. White boy Rick was dangerous as a motherfucker. I moved to Detroit before he got locked up. And I saw it in the neighborhood I was in. He was from the east side. The neighborhood I was in, we used to see him rolling with his crew. And the people who he rolled with were some of the most vicious motherfuckers you ever. They would kill you versus look at you. They were protecting him. It wasn't just his father. No, he had a crew that was protecting him from other people because he was a plug. That's how it is.
So, what? I mean, does any of these interactions go bad? I mean, you've been shot a few times.
Yeah, fuck yeah, they went bad. People don't necessarily want to get shot, and then they're looking for.
I'm trying to stay chronological.
Yeah, we stay chronological. Okay. Yeah. So they have, plenty of times though. Yeah, because listen, listen, when you're playing on that, so robbery is the most dangerous profession,
I'm
right?
sure.
It is the most, I mean, it's more dangerous than selling drugs
Right.
because you are presenting yourself in a way where you're trying to take something from somebody who don't necessarily want to give it to you. And then once you become known as a robber, you're a target. And then the drug dealers who have money, they want to get rid of you because they're afraid of you catching them and robbing them or doing something worse to them, right? So yeah, I've been shot up I've been shot up about good 4 times. Hell yeah, it was all about robbery. Every time I've been shot, it was the result of me trying to rob somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, I was locked up with multiple guys, and they said, once everybody knew, like as soon as they pulled up, everybody pull out their piece and start shooting. It's like, taking off, I get shot in the fucking shoulder by a 22. It's like I wasn't even going to rob. I'm just stopping by somebody's house.
No, it's none of that. Once you become known as a robber, that is in the ghetto. Once you become known as a robber, it is what it is. When you talk about the robbers from the Wild Wild West days, right? The police didn't. Once you became known as a person who's that vicious, and there's no, hey, freeze, stick them up. That is some Hollywood shit. They're going to gun your ass down. There's no fucking constitutional right. There's no read you your fucking your Miranda rights. No, they're going to, because they know how violent and aggressive you are.
So what was one of the times you got shot? Was the first time you got shot?
The first time I got shot, I stuck up somebody outside of the gambling joint. They were outside shooting dice outside of the gambling joint. I rolled up on my motherfucking bike. I had stole from somebody, right? And I jumped out. They were outside the gambling joint. It was night. I think it was like about 11, 12 o'clock at night.
How old were you?
I think I was 14.
Okay.
The first time I got shot, I was 14.
This is before you moved?
Yes, before I moved. I got shot in Detroit once. The other 3 times I got shot was in Pontiac.
So you pull up, you tell these guys you're gonna rob the guy?
I didn't tell them anything. I just pulled up on the bike. I'm young. I look young. I'm riding the bike, right? So I pulled up. They wasn't paying me no attention. They were gambling, shooting dice and shit. They took the money, drinking, shit like that. So I walked up and I just pulled a gun out. And he looked and saw me like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, give me your money, right? So this is what you just said. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. What the fuck is you? Get the fuck out of here. And this was a lesson that I learned. It really saved my life moving forward because I got shot by somebody. I let them talk me to death. The biggest mistake you can make when you're robbing people and as a robber is to allow too much conversation to happen. Once you pull that gun out, there should be no talking. There is no negotiation. That gun represents, that is my calling card, right? But I was stupid, young, and the guy stuck his hand in his pocket. I didn't know what he was doing. He shot me through his fucking jacket pocket, right? So that was a lesson. And then
where'd you get shot?
In the side.
Did you take off running?
Yeah, I took off. Hell yeah, I took off running. I didn't go to the hospital either. It went through and through. I didn't go to the hospital. I've had plenty of times where I never went to the hospital not one time. I've been shot 4 times. I never went to the hospital once. Not once.
What was it? What was the next one?
Other time I had robbed somebody, and I think it was a carjacking. I had shook the car, and it was a drug dealer. I took his car, and I drove off. I didn't drive off fast enough. And they started shooting at the car. It was a Volkswagen Jetta. I'll never forget it. It was a silver Volkswagen Jetta. Shot the back of the car up, the back windshield. It was like a movie. I'm trying to get away. The back window exploded, hit me in the back of the head. And I didn't realize I was shot until I started to have shortness of breath. The driver's seat had cracked in half and fell down on the back seat. Right. They shot that motherfucker up real good.
How old were you then?
I think I was 16 when that time happened.
You said you got shot in the face one time.
Yeah, I got shot in the face right here. Got shot in the face.
Oh, okay. I can see Alyssa. You barely even have a scar.
Yeah. That's like, I'm 50. I'll be 54 next month. Gun wounds heal. So you can see the scar now.
Yeah.
I got shot in the shoulder, and the bullet went through my neck and it exploded out my face. Yeah, I got shot right here. Yeah, went up home and came out.
No hospital.
No hospital.
What do you do? Go home?
I
Just
went home, put
rub
gauze
some,
on it. I put
rub
gauze,
some.
yeah.
My wife, if you rub some fucking dirt in it,
right,
it'd be all
right. I got gauze. I went to the store. I had a gauze. I put a big Band-Aid on it. You know what I'm saying? It never. That's why it never healed up right. Because I never went to that. You don't see any stitches.
I know, but it looks fine. It's just a
I
discoloration.
put Vaseline on it and put a Band-Aid on it. That's what happened. True story. Yeah. And that happens a lot. Even in prison, it happens. When you get stabbed in prison or if something happens to you in prison, people, you can't go to the infirmary because you're acknowledging you've been,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that's how it is.
you're gonna be in the shoe and then get shipped.
Yeah. I was in state penitentiary, so it's the whole.
Oh, okay.
It's the whole. Yeah.
I hear these guys talk about the fucking the hole and everything. They're like, oh, they're this and this, and didn't take a shower, and I was thinking, man, I was in the shoes. We had a shower. My cell had a shower. What are you talking about? This is federal prison, though.
No, the MDOC, the Michigan Department of Corrections, I spent 17 years in that motherfucker. No, and I was in level 4, level 5 for the majority of the time. But level 5 is like a supermax, like an ADX. You know what I'm saying? You come out for 1 hour a day. In population, you come out for 1 hour a day. I was in level 6 too. Michigan had a level 6. They don't have it anymore because they ruled it unconstitutional. And the shower was in your cell. And you would get it was called IMAX. You know what I'm saying? You take a shower every 3 days. They would turn the water on for 6 minutes. So you had 6 minutes to get wet, soap up, and then rinse off. And then you never came out your cell. I was in IMAX for 39 months.
So okay, so you're a teenager at this point. You're what happens how old are you when you at some point you swing by to see your mom? You're driving through the area, you swing by.
I was 16.
You were 16. Okay.
Yeah, I was 16. Yeah, 16
I'm
was maybe.
good. I'm good.
Yeah. 16.
I'm glad I watched Vlad.
16 was a major year for me. Yeah, 16 was a major year for me. At that point in time, we're going back and forth from Detroit to Flint. So we had to go past Pontiac to get to Flint. I was selling dope in Flint. Right, we were selling mixed jive and gave me money to be able to buy a car and do. I wasn't thinking about school or college. It didn't cross my mind. You hear me? So I was leaving Detroit, going back up to Flint, and I stopped by my mom's house. I was going back to Flint. Yeah, I was going back to Flint. And I stopped by my mom's house to check on her. She was on drugs at that point in time, right? But she was functional. You know what I'm saying? She was functional. I stopped by just to give her some money. It was on the north side of Pontiac on a street called St. Clair, of Baldwin, Montcalm area, right where it is a mixed neighborhood. You have Hispanics, white people, black people. I stopped by to see her. I gave her a couple of $100. The person, he's not my stepfather by marriage, but I consider him my stepfather because she was with him. She was with him longer than anybody else after divorcing my father. I stopped by to see her. I talked to her. I talked to him. Mom is like 4'11". His name is Melvin. Melvin's like 6'3", 6'4", 270, 280 minimum, right? He was a high school football and basketball star. And I was leaving. I went to a store across the street to get some juice, some snacks on my ride back up to Flint. And when I came out to get in my car, the neighbor, a Hispanic guy, Mexican guy who lived a couple of doors down, he was standing outside at my car when I came out this store called Big Daddy's on Baldwin and Kenneth Road. I came out the store, he was standing by my car. And I had met him a couple of times before when I stopped by a couple of times before. And he was like, I need to talk to you. I'm like, about what? It's like, I tried to talk to your grandmother and I tried to talk to your brothers, right? And I told them that Melvin is beating your mom real bad. He's beating her, like beating her really, really bad. I told your grandmother and I told your brother, and nobody's doing anything, man. He's gonna fuck around and kill her.
That was all you needed to hear.
That was it. I literally, I want to say I blacked out, but it was like everything started moving in slow motion. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a Cancer, so Cancers are really like, I'm a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? And despite the fact my mother, we've had turmoil, but that's still my mama. I don't give a fuck what kind of drugs she's doing. That's my mama. You know what I'm saying? So when he told me that, it was like an out of body experience in terms of anger, right? 'Cause I was just so angry when he told me that. I had a Colt 45 with a 9-inch barrel, 6-shot. We called it Jesse. I called it was one of my stick-up tools. You hear me?
Like a cannon.
Yeah, it was literally a cannon. The barrel, the bullet was like this, right? It was like this, right? So you pull a little lever to the side, you spin it and put right. You know what I'm saying? So it was in my trunk because I kept it in the trunk back then. I know you keep it in the trunk, or you keep it in the compartment of the engine, right? And he told me that, and I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he been beating my ass, been beating her real bad, like beating her out in public. So I said, okay, thank you. Right? So thank you. I got the car, pulled back across the street because it's right across the street. Right? Pulled back across the street, got out the car, popped the trunk, went and grabbed my gun. I walked up on the back porch and there's a sliding glass. What do you call this shit? Sliding glass door.
Yeah.
Like, sliding glass door. I tried to open it. That's the only thing that saved him. Because he had it locked. My mother was the Mexican guy who told me. She was because I'm in the backyard. So she's back down at the Mexican guy who told me what happened. I guess he told her he was going to the store to get a beer or something, but he came to tell me, right? So I drove right across the street. She was back down because when I left, went back down to his house, sitting back down, a couple doors down. Walked up on the back porch, had the door, the sliding glass was locked, couldn't get in it. So the sliding glass was like blinds, but the blinds were open. There's a hallway, there's a bathroom right here to the right. There's a hallway, there's another door. Beyond that door is the kitchen. That door was closed. So I tried to slide the glass door back. It didn't slide. It was locked. So I started bamming on it, right? I'm mad as a motherfucker. My mother is down there. It hadn't registered to her what was going on yet. And he didn't tell her what he was what he came across the street to tell me. So I was bamming on the door. So he opened up the other door, which leads to the kitchen, so he can see me, right? So he's like, what's going on? And he's like, because my nickname is Ton, because it's Ton, because I was a 10-pound baby, right? I was 10 pounds when I was born. I was 10 pounds, 4 ounces when I was born. So he opened up the door and he saw me, and I was like, he was like, what's going on? Because it was just all good. Just gave him some money, gave her some money, it was all good, right? So he opened the door like, what's going on? So I'm yelling and shit like, bitch, you hit my motherfucking mama. So he really couldn't, he's like, what? He can see I was irate.
You can see you're pissed.
He can see I'm pissed off, right? So I'm like, open this motherfucking door. So he was like, what the fuck? Because he was confused. You know what I'm saying? He probably was high too, because they both were getting high. So I rose the fucking gun up and I blew through the sliding glass so it blew a hole through it, but it kind of like shattered. It didn't just bust all out, right? So I blew through it, and when I blew through it, I could see him take off running. So he ran out the front of the house and ran out the street. So I chased this bitch ass down the street, blowing at him. I only had 6 shots. I wasted one blowing through the glass to begin with. So I ran down the motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? I only hit him one time, right? And the police is on me, because don't forget, I'm in a predominantly white neighborhood. The police was there. I didn't even deny that I did it, though. When they got me, I went to the youth home for it. I had a jury trial in Juvenile.
I wonder what the Mexican thought. Like, I wonder what he he just told you this. Does he know you're on your way over there?
No,
He just said he told you. Like, I told your grandmother.
He was concerned about her. He was concerned about her well-being.
I told the grandmother. I told your brother. Nobody's doing anything. I'm telling you, somebody's got to do something. Turn around, walk away. Next thing he hears, bam, 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 and sees Marvin running. Fucking.
Yeah.
He must have thought, holy shit.
Yeah. I called him my stepfather. He would have been dead except for my mother tackled me. Right? She tackled me, begging me not to kill him.
That's probably why she never told you anything to begin with, because she knew.
Yeah, I've always been kind of like a little bit. We call it touched in the
right.
Yeah, the only reason why I didn't kill him is that because I had one more shot, and I'm young. I had hawked his ass down. I had him, but then she ran out and tackled me and grabbed me and was begging me and crying not to do it. They didn't start waving people as adults until 88, 89. I could have got off on that one. That would have been a free kill.
Free kill. Did you? And you went to trial?
I went to trial. I got found not guilty.
Okay. Why?
Yeah, he didn't show up.
Okay.
He didn't show. He said he was going to show up. The trial started, and I had an all-white jury. I was in Oakland County, Michigan. Oakland County to this day is probably the 3rd or 4th richest county in the country. Oakland County, Michigan, right? And Pontiac is like the county seat. Pontiac is like really the only urban city. Pontiac and Roanoke Township are the only predominantly black cities in Oakland County, right? Oakland County is probably the second or third richest county in the country still to this day. Right. So growing up in Pontiac, you're surrounded by affluence. You're surrounded by the West Bloomfields, the Rochester Hills, the Commerce Townships. You're surrounded by affluence on all levels. So being from Pontiac, it makes you want more because on all sides of that city, you see nothing but wealth.
So what happened? Did she stay with him?
Yes, she absolutely did. Yeah.
So was he just continue to be a fucking douchebag? Is that?
I think he was less prone to putting his hands on her.
Oh, okay.
All right. I got found not guilty, but I still got sent to training school for that. They still locked me up because I ain't have nowhere to go. Because she was scared of me at that point. And don't forget, even though I was on my own, she's still my guardian. I wasn't a ward of the state.
Yeah.
Right.
She can't have you come back there.
No, I couldn't come back there, so they locked me up. I got found not guilty and still went to the training school for 2 years.
What was it because you had a gun?
No, I got found not guilty. They found me not guilty. They charged me with attempt murder.
Okay. But you got found not guilty.
I got found not guilty.
Well, how do you end up in the training school? What
Because
was the justification
I had nowhere
for
to
that?
go. I had nobody would take me because my family was tight. And don't forget, I'm still a juvenile. I'm 16. I'm still a juvenile.
But you're out there shooting people too. So
Yeah. So my whole family thought I was crazy at this point in time.
Right.
So nobody was willing to take the risk of
right.
have me come into their household. So I had nowhere to go. So because I had nowhere to go, I became a ward of the state.
You got your high school diploma.
I got a GED in training school. Yeah, WJ Maxson.
Sorry. And you decide you got out, and that's when you said, "Yeah, I'm going to college, and I'm putting this life behind me."
When I first came home, I came home at 19
better.
years old. I went to.
I'm thinking this is not what happened.
No.
Okay.
So listen. At this point in time, when I was in the training school, I had a couple of staff members who knew, like, man, you're extremely intelligent. I used to watch Jeopardy.
Right.
I'm a fan of Jeopardy, brother. I'm a Jeopardy champ. We used to watch Jeopardy in the training school, and I used to answer the questions before the contestants answered the questions. That's how good I was. I started to read a lot inside the training school. And one of the staff members, he was just like, man, I've always been relatively intelligent. I've always been like a thinker. I've always been quiet. I've always been like a cerebral person. Despite all the crazy shit I got into, I was never like loud and boisterous and disrespectful. I would do shit and he'd be like, I can't believe you did that. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, I can't believe you did that type of shit, right? So one of the staff members should bring books in to me. He brought the autobiography of Malcolm X in to me. He brought a book by Francis Cress Welsing. I think it was The Color Complex. He brought books by Cornel West. He would bring me like black literature in, right? And I would read it. And that's when I first decided. At that point in time, those were the first reading. Is kind of like what opened my mind. And then I understood that somebody had told me about if you want to hide something from a black person, you put it in the book. Black people don't read, right? And so I was offended by it, but I was motivated by that statement at the same time. You can be offended by something and be motivated by it at the same time. That's the absolute truth. I was offended by like, man, so we stupid like that? You know what I'm saying? Fuck no, right? So even though I was getting in trouble and even when I got out and I kept on doing shit, I still used to read, right? Because I didn't like being stupid, right? I didn't like not knowing shit. I've always been a cerebral person. So it's like, if we're having a conversation about what just happened between, let's just say, Maduro and Venezuela, right?
Right.
In the youth home and in the training schools, I used to read Popular Science, National Geographic, Popular Mechanics, Popular Science, Popular Mechanic, Jet Ebony Man, shit like that, right? And so in essence, I realized that shit, bro, a lot of the shit that I'm reading in these magazines, I've never seen before. The magazines like the Ebony used to talk about the Essence Festival and Mardi Gras. I had never been anywhere before.
Yeah. There's a whole world out there you don't know anything about.
I discovered that whole world by reading, like literally. Like I used to read the Ebony, and back then the Ebony, what the Ebony and what the Jet magazines represented to black culture was it showed us life. Even though we didn't have opportunity to experience ourselves, it showed us the best part of what Black America, what it meant to be black looks like, right? Now, I don't think people give the Jet and the Ebony and Essence magazines enough credit Because when you from the hood, you from the ghetto, bro, we don't see shit. We don't go anywhere. We
Yeah,
don't travel.
there's no Facebook,
Yeah.
social media, none of
None
this.
of that
There's
shit,
was what 3 main channels and 1
Yeah.
local channel. Like
You're right,
it's,
right, yeah, NBC, CBS, and ABC.
Yeah.
Right. So and then Fox came later, right? I'm old like that, so Fox came
Ah.
later, right? So I had the opportunity. I used to read a lot. So reading saved me. Reading gave me peace of mind. I would be staff member was bringing books in. He wasn't even supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? He saw something in me, like, man, you have strong willed, you respectful. When I was locked up, I didn't look like or sound like a person who had they used to read my file, like, you just did. I was like a whole different person in person. Like, you just did this crazy ass shit. Like, yeah, like I couldn't believe it because my demeanor, I was quiet.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I used to read a lot. So he's like, yeah, reading. You know, the staff member said, hey, listen, man, you're gonna gain your independence, right? You're gonna learn how to be a man by reading. You're gonna learn what it means to be. You're gonna learn how to control yourself. Is what he told me. His name was Mr. Chisholm. Was his name? His name was Ron Chisholm. Was the person who brought those books in for me. Like, you're gonna learn because you're gonna learn how to be a man. You're gonna learn what it means to live life by reading. So he brought me magazines in, brought me books in. I think the book that kind of like changed my entire. I think it was the autobiography of Malcolm X. It's what changed me. It kind of like opened up my mind, right? Because it really talked about the condition of Black people and how we got to be where we were. The autobiography of Malcolm X is a book that really kind of like it inspired me the most. And I read Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey inspired me too. And I read Miseducation of the Negro. That changed me as well. All right, so I understood that for the most part, Black people, and I understood this at 16, 17 years old, we're where we are right now because we've been conditioned to be that way. And even though we have been conditioned to be, things have been taken from us, we take from ourselves too. So at that time, I started to understand that I didn't say it, but I understood that even though when you look at everything that has happened to Black people in America, Black Americans, with slavery and Jim Crow and all that, right? I don't discount it because it happened and it had an impact on us. But very early on, I said to myself, if we know all these things happen, what the fuck are we gonna do about it?
Why does it keep happening?
Yeah, if we know about it, because right now, to me, it looks like that we're our own biggest enemies, even though there are still outside factors that you had to take in consideration. But right now, we're our own biggest enemy. I discovered that, and I came to that realization at 16, 17 years old. And so that was like, even though I still got in trouble after that, I went to prison, all that shit after that, I went to prison kicking myself in the ass. I was in college when I caught that case. I didn't even do the shit I went to prison for. That is the crazy part. I was in a crew of people who we were robbing, but for the robbery I went to prison for, I wasn't even there. I just didn't tell. Swear to God.
When was that?
It happened in 1990. The robbery happened in 92.
How old were you at that point?
20.
20. So this
21,
is so you had just
20, 20. I was 20.
So you got out of juvie at what?
19.
At 19?
Yes. I went to prison for 17 years at 20. I got 21.
Within a year.
Year and a half.
You're tied up in this.
I came home from training school. I got married. I was married and everything. You know what I'm saying? I was in college. I was in Oakland University. And I was kind of like halfway in, halfway out. And I was going to, this is another thing that people don't know. I had signed up for the Navy. I had took the ASVAB and everything, brother. I scored an 88 on the ASVAB. I still have the proof that I scored an 88. The people who I went, at that point in time, because my older brother who was raised down south, he went to the Navy. So in between me getting in trouble, he's like, man, you ain't got no adult record yet, bro. At that point in time, I was under the impression that your juvenile record didn't count against you in terms of going to the military. Right? So, but it did.
It does? Oh, okay.
Fuck yeah, because I had all high-level I had attempt murders, armed robberies. You know what I'm saying? It was all violent, assaultive shit, right? So I've never said this on any platform before ever. I took the test in October of 1992. I took the ASVAB. I took the physical, everything. I went downtown Detroit. I scored an 88. The next highest person, the next highest score was like a 40. I had the 88. And at that point in time, the highest enlisted person in the Navy in the country was a black person. And he was over the recruiting department in Detroit. So when my score came back, he was like, shit, you fucking gonna swear your ass in right now.
Yeah.
They ran the background check. I didn't have an adult record. I had the juvenile record, attempt murder, and blah, 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 blah. And even though I got found out guilty of the thing with my stepfather, it was still part of my file.
Right.
So he said, you need to go get an expungement. Don't get your juvenile record expunged. I had a court date for November 18th, 1992. I had a court date to get my juvenile record expunged. I had talked to my judge, my magistrate, the person who was my judge. Her name was Jessica Cooper. So right now she's the chief. She was the magistrate in the juvenile division. Right now she's the chief judge for Oakland County circuit court right now.
Right.
She was my magistrate back then. So I went to the courthouse myself. I went to her clerk's chambers, and I told the clerk what's going on. I'm trying to go into the Navy, trying to get out of that shit. She remembered me because she had majority of my cases as juvenile, right? So I talked to the clerk. The clerk gave me a hearing for November 18th of 1992. I had signed up for a 2-and-2 program. They had a 2 years active duty and 2 years reserves.
Okay.
Right? I was in college. I was going to Oakland University. I was going to go in there, let them finish my, GI Bill, let them finish paying for my college. I don't have no college debt, get all the insurance and all that kind of shit. And I was not going to come. My brother said, go overseas. Because my brother spent 23 years in the Navy. He spent most of his time in Italy and Japan. So he said, go overseas, learn, just live life, just whatever. Just get the fuck out of there, right? So I was going to sign up to go over. I didn't want to be in the States. I would go to basic training. I was going to go overseas, right? That was November. I had a court date for November 18th, 1992. I got locked up November 7th, 1992. If I could have made it 11 days,
Could have got the expungement, and
I
yeah.
would have been gone.
Well, what was the robbery?
Carjacking. We had a carjacking ring. We were carjacked foreign cars, taken to a
say
chop
it
shop.
like, you say it like everybody has one. Didn't you have one? No, I did not have one.
Yeah, carjacking. Yeah, carjacking. We snatch your ass out the motherfucking foreign cars and take them to the chop shop. And then it was what it was.
And so these other guys did a carjacking, and what you're
I
saying
was
you got
carjacking too.
what right, but
I
but
didn't
the
do
one
that carjacking.
right. So what
Yeah.
happened? So they got grabbed, and they just grabbed the whole crew. Was there a task force or something? Like how'd
Yeah,
your
it was
name
a
get?
task force. Yeah, because the chop shop. So it was the chop shop. Then where the cars coming from, and
Yeah, it's not
blah.
a minor. This is not a minor thing. This
Yeah,
is
no,
not
yeah,
a couple
no.
of kids doing it. This is a ring.
We weren't taking the cars to the chop shop.
Yeah, before we get into how it went wrong, how does this whole process work? Are you guys just, we're in the wealthy part of town, we're looking for these dudes, and we're just snatching them out of the car, or?
No, dealerships. We go to the dealerships. We go to dealerships. I put a button down shirt on, go to the dealerships. I have a pistol on me, and we go for test drive. And doing a test drive, right? Pull over, switch back. We pull over, switch back. Get your bitch ass out.
Right.
Take the car and head off to Sunset.
So I was gonna say, so you take it to the
Chop shop.
Like, is this like cars for order or just any car?
Yeah, they would order them because back
So
then,
like we need like an Audi.
Back then, it was Audis, BMWs. It was Mitsubishis. They had the Mitsubishis. I forget the high level Mitsubishi sedan. It was Acura Legends back then. Acuras were really hot back then. Acuras, BMWs were really hot back then.
And so you run it to the chop shop. Are you ever being chased to the chop shop?
No.
Or
No.
then,
There was a couple times we snatched people out of the cars in the hood. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, we would go to the dealerships. You know what I'm saying? Do the test drives.
Yeah, you're dropping the salesman off in the middle.
Yeah.
When they usually pull over, they pull over into like an area, like, oh, here, it's quiet over here. Let's pull over.
Like this, like an industrial
Yeah,
thing.
you slowly walk around the car.
right.
You'll notice the such and such.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a perfect place to say.
take off, get the fuck out.
Yeah, you hop in and leave. So he has no cell phone. There's back then the
No.
cell phones were this big back
Yeah.
in the 90s, and they were
Yeah,
he
no
didn't
Kia
have-
flip, but nobody had a
He
cell
didn't-
phone
yeah.
point.
and let's say like a $50,000 car, how much do you get it from? How much do you get for it from a chop shop?
2,500.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting
plus you're in
$25.
you're in the chop shop probably within
Mhm.
5 minutes, way before the cops are even
Yeah.
looking for the car.
Yeah, before you want to have all this technology. You had those cars were technologically advanced, but you didn't have all the tracking mechanisms that you had now back
Right.
then.
And so they eventually come in and grab you and everybody else?
No, they grabbed them motherfuckers first.
Right.
Then they came and got me. One of the guys who was in our crew, he was picked up for something else, and because it was a crew of us going around,
Right.
all in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? We all going around taking cars. It was a crew of us. They picked the motherfucker name is Bruce Earl Williams. That's his name.
I'm thinking, did
Rat motherfucker.
Bruce Earl
Bruce got picked up.
did he
Yes,
mention your name?
Yeah, listen.
Did he say, I need a piece of paper and a pen? Let me write
Yeah.
in
That's his
order
name.
of operations.
Yeah, the bitch ass nigga named Bruce. We call him Bruce. We call him Bus Stop too. His name was Bus Stop. He got caught up. He got caught, and him getting caught led to everybody else getting caught. They knew him. They didn't know us. They didn't know who we were. He told because we had all been in the training school together, so he knew our real names. So he told on me and he's not my Cody, but yeah, I guess Cody. He told on everybody. He told on everything.
Did you go to trial? Did
Hell
you feel?
no.
Oh no.
Hell no, you don't go Oakland County, Michigan. Going to trial in Oakland County, Michigan. If you black and you done stuck some white people up, boy, your ass. No. Oakland County, Michigan had the highest conviction rate out of any county in the country for over 2 decades running, because they would, if you black. So listen, this is how it is. So you got this is like a history lesson for you. So Detroit's mayor is like Coleman Young. You ever heard of Coleman Young? Coleman Young was the mayor when White Boy Rick.
Oh yeah.
Coleman Young. Coleman Young was a certified gangster, but a mayor.
Right.
Right. He's the most legendary political figure in the history of Detroit. They still swear by him to this day. Right. He was when all of the gangsters that you hear about, when BMF was formed,
Yeah.
Coleman Young was mayor.
He
Right.
plays the lieutenant in Beverly Hills Cop,
No,
right?
that was the commissioner.
Oh,
That was the commissioner.
okay.
He was under Coleman Young.
Oh, okay.
He was under Coleman Young. That was the police commissioner. Right. Axel Foley, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a police. Yeah, he was, that was really him too. Right. Corrupt as a son of a bitch. Right. They sold more dope than the drug dealers did. Right. Back then it was just like everything for sale back then. Everything was for sale back then. But the motherfucker told on everybody, told on me. They didn't know where I stayed at. Right. What happened was my god brother brought him, because I would go off and we had a crew.
Mhm.
And me and my god brother, we ran the crew. So I was in college and doing other shit that even my god brother didn't know about. So when things were happening, I'm like, man, when I moved from the west side of Detroit to the east side of Detroit. Only person who knew where I stayed at was my god brother, my godmother. Nobody else knew. Nobody else in our crew knew where I laid my head at. Right. So one day I wasn't answering the phone, picking up the phone. So my godbrother came to my house with Bruce in the car with him. That's how Bruce knew where I stayed at. That's how he knew where I stayed at. And then, even then, because he wasn't from the east side, from the west side of Detroit, right? He wasn't familiar with the area. He knew what street, but he couldn't tell him what block or what house. So what they did was they went and they pulled the mail. And they went and pulled my last name. Anything they knew, they went and pulled the mail for the entire block and found Austin. And that's how they knew what house I stayed in.
So task force, they grabbed everybody. How'd they come grab you? Nice.
They
Knocked on the door.
Just but nice.
Listen, we have an issue.
I
Can
was
you
laying
come
down.
downstairs?
It is, 'cause even though I was on some, I'm not gonna say I'm totally innocent, right?
Clearly.
Right? I'm not gonna say I was totally innocent, but this shit I did not do. This one I didn't do. But you pay for the stuff, even stuff you didn't do. Okay, it was knocking on the door. It's like 11:30. I was in the bed asleep. I had to go to class the next morning, right? I was and I heard a knock on the door. My wife went to the door and then she's like, "Who is it?" Like, "It's police, right? Oakland County Sheriff." Because the crime it happened in Oakland County. Oakland County Sheriff, what the fuck? I ain't did shit. Oh, what? Right? So I'm listening to him. So I was gonna go hide. You know what I mean? I'm anti-turn myself in, just so we're on the same page. Like if there's ever an occasion where I get in trouble again, I'm never turning myself in.
Oh, I used to kill me when these guys would show up. They turn themselves for 8 years, 12 years. Like, are you telling me that an hour and a half ago you were outside? Like, you still smell like fucking Burger King.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they're like, yeah, I ate at Panera this morning.
Right. No, I never turned myself in.
You turned yourself in
No,
and you got 8 years.
Get
Yeah.
your job. Listen.
No.
Listen. I pray that I hope to God. I didn't forget your question. I hope I'm never turning myself in. I hope they don't see this and use this against me if something ever happens.
Yeah.
No, you got to do your job, motherfucker. I'm never turn myself in. That's never gonna happen, right? So they came, they knocked on the door. My wife went to the door. They announced who they were, and so in the house I was living in, then this house is from the 1800s. So there in the attic there is like you would think it's a chimney stack, but it's not.
Mhm.
It's not the chimney. Actual chimney stack is enclosed in drywall, but this looks like a chimney stack. You can who I don't know who had it. I don't know some prohibition shit. But you can take the whole fucking it's like a secret door, but it's all, you can slide it and get in there and slide it back. It's like a handle on the inside.
Right.
It had to be some mobster's house back in the day. So on the east side of Detroit, right? So I was gonna do that, but they were gonna come in that house and tear that motherfucker up, and my stepkids were in the house. Right? And I didn't want them to have to go, I didn't want them rumbling through all that kind of shit. So I just came down and gave myself up. Right, and that was all she wrote.
What'd you? I mean, they give you a lawyer. I
had a lawyer.
What's your lawyer
They charged
saying?
me with armed robbery, larceny from a person, and weapons charge. The lawyer, like your ass is grass.
Right.
My lawyer's name was William Zim. Your ass is grass because let's see. So Oakland County is worse than the feds used to be. Oakland County, you can do your research. It had the highest conviction rate out of any county in the country. And Oakland County was second, third richest county in the entire country. If you're black and you catch a case in Oakland County, let's do the contrast. Let's just say you steal a car in Detroit. Across on the other side of 8 Mile, you steal a car. You're in Wayne County.
Mm-hmm.
Steal the car. Probation. Oakland County, you steal a car. 5 to 10. Let's say you get caught with a gun in Wayne County. Depending on your prior criminal history, get caught. You get a 2 to 4, some shit like that, right? Oakland County, 5 years, right? You stick somebody up because Oakland County is really like a white flight county. White people left Detroit after the riots in 1967. They moved across 8 Mile, and so the laws and law enforcement, they are dead set on making sure your black ass don't cross that motherfucking 8 Mile trying to steal from rich white people.
And
so they teach you a lesson.
You don't do it again for 5 years.
Listen, you rob a motherfucker in Detroit, 3 to 20. You rob somebody in Oakland County, 20 to 40. They don't play that shit. They're going to sentence you. And that's why I brought up Coleman Young earlier. It wasn't even about the white boy Rick shit. So there was a battle between L. Brooks Patterson, who was the county commissioner, and Coleman Young, who was the mayor of Detroit. It was colossal battles. Colossal. It was white versus black. Oakland County versus Wayne County. The two titans. The titan of Wayne County was Detroit's mayor, Coleman Young, and the titan of Oakland County was L. Brooks Patterson. L. Brooks Patterson was one of the most racist, bigoted motherfuckers you ever want to meet in your life. If you were black and you crossed, listen, it was a known thing. You cross over 8 Mile, your ass grass. We'll see you when you get, if you are 23, we'll see you when you get 37. They would sentence you harsher if you were Detroit. If you were a Detroit resident, they would sentence you 3 to 5 times what the guidelines were. And that whole thing was done to discourage the niggas from
coming there.
They call Detroit nigger town.
Right.
From crossing over 8 Mile. And we know that. Everybody from Detroit knows, don't take your ass across 8 Mile. You ain't got no insurance. You ain't got no license. Your car looks sketchy, right? Don't do it. If you could be in a foreign car. Once you cross over 8 Mile, turn your music down. And make sure your window's not tinted. They're gonna pull you over. Driving while black is a real thing across 8 Mile. They will pull your ass over and look for something.
We had the guy, remember he was open the cannabis places where they were selling. That was the whole thing. He said, so he went over, because in Detroit he could open up a place. And that was his whole thing. He said, I couldn't do it here. He said, because they kept shutting him down. So he said, we just drove over 8 Mile. He said, they didn't bother us at all. It was here that they were. Yeah,
Detroit is open for business when it comes to cannabis. Growing, selling, is open air. This is legal. Right. Michigan is legal, period. But they have some counties they try to discourage because they don't want a bunch
Yeah,
of
this was like when it first happened,
Mm-hmm.
where they said it's legal. He said it didn't matter. It was legal, and I would open up a place. He said they'd shut it down.
Yeah,
Open up a place, shut it down. So that's when he went over 8 Mile.
Yeah.
He said, and they didn't bother him there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, right? Is that where they weren't bothering him, or they weren't shutting him down there too?
No.
Or they get away with it for longer?
On Detroit side of 8 Mile? 'Cause
Yeah.
8 Mile is the northern border in Detroit, right? And so it's two counties that border 8 Mile, that border Detroit on 8 Mile. You have Macomb County and you have Oakland County. Those are the two counties that border. 8 Mile is the northern line, northern line
Okay.
of Detroit. Across 8 Mile, you have Oakland County, and then you have Macomb County. On the east side of 8 Mile, you have Macomb County. On the west side of 8 Mile, you have Oakland County. Both of those counties will tear your ass up. They will send your ass to prison for a very long time.
So what was your offer? What were they offering you?
Shit. The first offer was 20 to 40 with a couple of enhancements for the guns. So what happens was Oakland County would overcharge you for any crime that looks like or smells like or tastes like the crime you committed. Let's say you got an armed robbery.
Mhm.
Every unsolved armed robbery with a motherfucker who you could be 6'2". The suspect for that armed robbery could be 5'8". That's your armed robbery.
Right.
They would overcharge you. You know you're not going to get a jury of your peers. Oakland County is predominantly white. Predominantly white. Every city in Oakland County is predominantly white except two. Just imagine an entire county that is Pontiac and Royal Oak Township. The rest of that shit, when I say white, I mean white. When I say affluent, I mean very affluent. If
Not
you-
Trailer Park White.
No.
Not.
No. When you Kid Rock and the M&Ms, they stay in Oakland County. And you have West Bloomfield, Rochester. You have a lot of. I think the per capita income in Oakland County as a total got to be medium income. Got to be close to $100,000. Period. You know what I'm saying? When you in Pontiac, when you step foot outside of Pontiac, north of Pontiac, you have Auburn Hills, where the Pistons used to play at.
Mhm.
Auburn Hills, Michigan, and then east of Pontiac, you have motherfucking west. You have Rochester. You have Clawson. You have West Bloomfield. No, it's all bad. Your ass. You have Novi. It's all bad. Sylvan Lake. Your ass going to jail. You're going to jail for nothing. You're going to jail. Period. Simple as that. So
But in your case-
they offered me. I went to.
You
so listen,
did something.
when I got to the county jail, I think he charged me with like 7 to 8 armed robberies.
Mhm.
Shit that we had no knowledge of, wasn't. But they would overcharge you and force you to take a cop.
Right.
Yeah. So Oakland County had the highest conviction rate not because of trial, but because of you would cop out. You know you have to cop out because if you take it to trial, you know how the feds, you take it to trial, feds go ahead and get.
Yeah. You're getting it 50 years. Yeah. You're better off taking the 6 or 10 that they're offering you, even though you might feel like I don't think I deserve that or I'm not guilty of that. Yeah. But if you go to trial, you lose. You're getting 50.
So listen, people from Detroit, from the metropolitan Detroit area, to this day, it's still the same thing. You don't play with them white folk. You don't play with them crackers. I'm just gonna be real. You don't play with them crackers. You catch an armed robbery or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
If they offer you a 10 to 20, you know you gotta like. You know you gotta be. You gonna start. You might start crying because I know I'm not guilty of this shit. I know they don't got to. You know how you be playing the evidence game?
Uh-huh.
I know they don't have. I know I ain't leave no footprints. I know they don't got no DNA. Yeah, but if you go to trial and you lose, Oakland County will humble you. It's worse than the feds. It will humble. If you go to trial and you lose, we'll see you in another lifetime. Not this one, another one.
So I have a quick question. When you say, 10 to 20, what is the 10?
So unlike the feds, so you have a minimum sentence.
Right.
So the feds, you give you one sentence in
Yeah.
months. You get 36 months, to 120 months,
Right.
360 months, blah, 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 right? In Michigan, you get a minimum sentence, you get a tail. It's their guidelines. So let's say if I get an armed robbery, let's say they give me 10 to 20. The 10 would be my minimum.
Right. So
20
you
would be
could
my
get out
max.
in 10.
You
could.
Yeah, once you do 10 years,
Yeah.
you start seeing the parole board.
Oh, okay.
They don't have to let you out.
Yeah.
So there's a minimum. So what happens is once you get to your minimum, so it used to be you say 85% of your, like I said, they'll give you armed robbery, 10 to 20, right? You start seeing the parole board after about 8.5 years, 85% of your sentence, you'll start to see the parole board. The parole board don't have to let you go. They can flop you. They can hold you up to 20 years if they want to. So, like me, I went to prison and I got flopped 6 times. They call it a flop. A flop is a continuation. You go see the parole board, you sit up like this. You ever seen Shawshank Redemption?
Of course.
Same thing. You go in there, and like the Fed, but you just go, let your ass, no, Shawshank. You go in there, I still don't know how I got a parole. Because I was in there stabbing people, robbing people in prison. I do not know how I got a parole. I was shocked, right? I told, stop playing with me, man. Don't play with me, man. When they told me I had a parole, I was fucking shocked. Yeah, so you get a 10 and 20. So you start seeing the parole board, and then they had something called truth in sentencing as well. So when I was in prison, you would do 85% of your time before you see the parole board. Parole board doesn't do that. They don't have to let you go, right? You get a 10 and 20, you start seeing the parole board at about 8.5 years, they can hold you up to 20 years. Now, most of the time, they don't hold you. Your behavior will dictate, generally speaking. Sometimes it can be the crime, though. Sometimes parole board hold grudge against your ass. Or let's just say something happened to you. Let's just say if I broke in your house, I scared your wife to death. I go to prison, right? You can come to the parole board here and say, hey, this son of a bitch scared my wife. My wife's still having anxiety, right? This son of a bitch, blah, 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 blah. And the whiter you are, is the worse it is for me. Hey, I'm so-and-so, I own this business, blah, blah, blah. This son of a bitch, you know what I'm saying, right? Oh, listen, that's a worst nightmare, is to have somebody come to your parole hearing. The victim? My
victims, they're the
listen,
worst.
My wife died a broken heart because this son of a bitch terrorized us. And even though I didn't kill her, but she never could recover. She died of melancholy because he robbed us and scared. Oh, your ass, you gonna do that 20.
So what did you take? Did you take a 10 to 20?
Yeah, I took a 13 to 20.
13 to 20?
Yeah, I took a 13 to 20 and a
You did 17. How much did you do?
17 years flat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did 17 years flat. The whole thing is, when I went to prison, there was beef on the floor. It was beef. So it was a lot of beef. So there was a war going on inside the MDOC, the Michigan Department of Corrections, when I went to prison. There was a war going on. So you had a lot of the drug crews that get knocked in 89, 90, 91, 92. I went to prison in 92.
Right.
So it was a war going on inside the NDOC. The NDOC wasn't gang related. It was crews. You know what I'm saying? You had East Side versus West Side. Then you have a lot of city beef. You know what I'm saying? You had Flint, Michigan against Saginaw, and Saginaw against Pontiac, and Detroit against everybody and shit like that.
But does that have anything to do with you? Like,
fuck yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
You haven't mentioned anything about that yet.
Yeah, well, let me mention it to you right now.
Right.
right? I was robbing in that motherfucker. So listen, I was robbing. The robbery didn't stop when I went to prison. I was robbing and beating motherfuckers' ass and taking their store, the prisoner store.
Right.
You fill this, you dish your store list, I will fill your store list out for you. Right? And I will give you what I want you to have. Right? So it's a limit of $75 a week. I'm gonna order $50 and you go get 25. That's how they go. So it was extortion, robbery, and just beating motherfuckers' ass. You know how did they have tapes when you were in prison, like tapes, cassette tapes? Or they had MP3 players?
MP3s.
Right. So when I was in prison, they had cassette tapes. When I was leaving, they started to get the MP3 players. Well, cassette tapes, right?
Yeah.
You could have like boxes, they'd be like 30, right? And all the newest stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'll take your tape box. If I would relieve you of the shit that I didn't think you were supposed to have. I would take it. Take the shit from you, right? If I liked you, you could keep some of this shit. If I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't supposed to be doing that shit.
No.
No, I wasn't. I was a member of the Nation of Islam.
Oh, okay.
And in the Nation of Islam, we're not supposed to be engaged in any of that shit.
All right.
But I used to get suspended from the Nation of Islam. I'm like Malcolm X. I used to get suspended. They would suspend 30 days suspension, 90 days suspension, 60 days suspension. I've been suspended because you're not supposed to be doing that, brother.
Right.
Right. But the whole thing is like, listen, if I'm hungry, I'm robbing. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? I'm robbing. I'm taking that shit. If you got some dope and you selling dope, I'm gonna take your dope.
Doesn't any of this ever come? Like, how much are for how long do the other inmates put up with this before they retaliate in some way?
No, it's not a matter of how long. It's about who. Some people just ain't going for it.
Yeah.
But I was in the nation. So religions in the MVOC, they used to run the show.
Right.
Religions used to run the shows. Now it's gang oriented. You have Crips and Bloods, even in Michigan. You would think Michigan was California now, right? But back when I was there, you had GDs and vice lords who were from Chicago, and you had a couple of gangs out of Southwest Detroit, but for the most part, it was like drug crews.
Right.
Michigan wasn't like a heavy GD, vice lord, Crip Blood state. It is now. Back then, it was just like crews. What side of town you from?
Right.
What neighborhood you from? It's neighborhood crews and drug crews, because the crews, even when you get locked up, you still claiming your crew.
Yeah, and the
when you were
feds,
locked up.
the cars, like you're the
Yeah.
Tampa car, you're in the whatever, the
South
Atlanta
car,
yeah.
the Blood car, Crip Pyru car, GD car type shit. It could be state, it could be all that kind of shit. It could be the South car, shit like that. Big Meech was in the South car because he's from Atlanta. He wasn't in the Midwest car. He was in the South car. So that don't get me started, right? So what happened is that it was just a matter. I'm a bully. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it was. If you got something,
It's horrible.
yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry to offend your sensibilities, brother. Yeah, if you have something and you like it wasn't about it wasn't about black or white. It was about if you have something that I want, I'm gonna take that shit from you. That's just the way it was. You know what I'm saying? The way it was. And then so that leads to problems because everybody's not going for that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you might think somebody is quiet and introvert, but that motherfucker might be a fucking serial killer. You know what I'm saying? And then today, I might wake up and do something to you today. Tomorrow, you might wake up and say, you know what? The next motherfucker tried this shit, I'm going to stab him in the eye. Or I'm going to pick him up and throw him over the fucking gallery and watch them fall and break the fucking neck and die on the gallery. Or I'm going to run up in the cell. I'm going to take some bowling. Bowling is like bowl cleaner. I'm going to mix piss with bowl cleaner. And I'm going to throw it on you and light you on fire. Because back then you could smoke and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you could take toilet bowl cleaner and mix it with a little piss. You know what I'm saying? And throw it on somebody and strike a match and burn their ass up. It's like an acid type thing. All right, so I saw it all. I've done it all.
Yeah, you mentioned on Vlad, you mentioned how one guy had, I forget, there was a dispute and the guy just threatened him. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna you," and he walked off. And then the next day, like one guy had probably forgot about it. The next day, he's just standing there. Like, a guy ran up and stabbed him.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
You know.
I mean, because I was in the worst prisons that the Michigan Department of Correction had. I was in Jackson, South Yard. I was in Marquette Level 5. I was at MR. MR is Gladiator School. Gladiator School is when you have 10 years or more, you're 26 or younger. So it's called Michigan Reformatory or MR or Gladiator School. Just imagine you have 1,500 prisoners who are under 26 years old, who all have 10 years or more to do. And if you don't have 10 years or more, because I get back on appeal, I'm going to get my controlled sentence back, right? But I still had to, I was getting flopped because I was doing crazy shit. You know, so I was in that bitch robbing, and I caught a dope case in prison, all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is, you in Michigan Reformatory is 26 and younger, 10 years or more. The average person had a sentence of maybe 20 years on average. There's no hope.
Mm-hmm.
There's none of that shit. And then the prison guard says, "I own you, Michigan. I own you." Some of the most racist white people. Listen, so little known fact, Michigan has some of the most racist white people in the country. You don't got to go to Mississippi or Arkansas or Alabama to see racism. Oh, that's up north. No. Listen, Michigan has two peninsulas, the Upper Peninsula and Lower Peninsula. The white people who live in the northern part of the Lower Peninsula, and all of them who live in the Upper Peninsula, up in the, it's called the UP, right?
And they're not fans.
Not fans. Bro, listen. So the Upper Peninsula, the upper part of the Lower Peninsula of Michigan and the Upper Peninsula, that is or an iron country. What happened when this country started to import cheap iron and steel and ore from China? It put them out of business. So listen, it is like Appalachian Mountain pour up there. White people, hills have eyes. Interrace. The uncle is the cousin, is the nephew, is the brother. That there. They hate black people.
That's my sister and my niece and my cousin, and there's only one woman standing there.
Yes, listen. The prison guards, the best thing that happened to a prison guard in northern Lower Peninsula and the Upper Peninsula, the best thing that could happen to them is when they put prisons up there and they gave them a job. You can make $40,000 a year and get healthcare insurance, right? You know when the CO is new? Because they have no teeth. They have maybe 1 or 2 teeth in their mouth. And then after a year, they got their good insurance. They got a whole fucking bright smile. Listen, they hate niggas, but they need niggas. Because without those fucking prisons in the Upper Peninsula, there's no economy. There's zero economy. You think Detroit is bad? There are no car plants up there. There's nothing. There's no industry. There's nothing up there. They need prisons. The prisons is what saved them. So they despise black people because they know without this, we don't have anything. But they know they need it at the same time. They are they will kill you. Talk about that. Listen, I've seen the prison guards will kill you in Michigan. They will kill you without thinking twice about it.
How did you get another case in prison?
I was selling weed and got caught.
But just once, or
once,
usually they have to put usually it has to be a significant amount, or they have to put something together.
You get caught with. I get caught. I think I had like half ounce. They gave me a 2 to 4 for that. 2 to 4 year sentence for weed. Yeah. So my tail went from 20 years to 24 years because they added the tail onto my. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 2 to 4. Now you get caught with some dope in Michigan, you get the case. You going to court. They going to court, and whatever county that prison is in, you're going to court. You're going to court. Only way you don't catch the case is you tell. Other than that, you get the case. Period.
Do they bring you back? They brought you back for and what, you just pled guilty? Or is
I
it
went to
internal?
hell yeah, I pled guilty. Fuck yeah. Because I got caught with it on me. Fuck yeah. You don't plead guilty, you get a 20-year sentence in there for some shit that if you got caught with it in the street would be a fucking misdemeanor probably. Yeah, you can't. It's smuggling. So listen, the worst thing you could do besides murder in prison is get caught smuggling. Because when you smuggle, the integrity of the prison is at risk. Because how'd you get this cell phone? How'd you get this dope in here? Right? How'd you do it? You know what I'm saying? They're compromised. So they're gonna press your ass to death. You get caught at one facility with some drugs, they're gonna ride your ass out to a different facility because they don't know how you know what I'm saying, they're gonna get rid of your ass. They're gonna send your ass way up north. They're gonna send you up north with white people who will call you a nigga in front of your mama on the visiting room. You can be on visit. They will call your mama a nigga. And if she get a problem, they'll put her bitch ass out. They will call your mama a nigga. You gonna do what you gotta do. If you feel some type of way, you're gonna have to handle your business. But they would call your mama a nigga.
Is your mom coming to see you at this time?
She came to see me about 6 times over the course of my bid. Yeah. But then, so there are certain inmates inside the MDOC that the police won't fuck with because to fuck with them, there's going to be there are certain inmates they just leave alone because they know that inmate has a lot of power. And if you fuck with them, like I went to IMAX for fucking the police up. We got into it with the Aryan Brotherhood. So we got to the Aryan Brotherhood and the police tried to aid and assist the Aryan Brotherhood. Yeah, they gave them knives and locked us on the yard with them ABs. And the ABs was stabbing us and shit like that. So we had but they didn't, we went to the weight pit. They had a weight pit out there. So we went to the weight pit and got the little 5-pound that you put on the 5-pound, and we got the dumbbells and we was crashing them over the head with that. And then the police, when the tides turned and we started to beat the fuck out the Aryan Brotherhood, the COs ran in there trying to grab us, but they wasn't grabbing the Aryan Brotherhood members.
Right.
So the COs would grab the black people while the Aryan Brotherhood members would be stabbing them.
Right.
And so we had to fuck the police up too. So we fucked the police. That's how I got the IMAX. We had to fuck the police up too.
We interviewed the CO that busted the
Corcoran?
Corcoran. Remember Corcoran? They were shooting the fucking guys in the head, or they were bringing the inmates in and putting
Was that California?
two gang members in the same pot or in the same area and let them fight it out. And they let them fight for a little bit and then they shoot them. He's the guy that
The whistleblower.
he was the whistleblower. We had him come in because he was like, it was just ridiculous. He's like, they were just shooting these guys, and then they wanted us to shoot them. Like they were giving, like they're like, hey, here's the thing, go up there. We're gonna let this guy and this guy out. And he's like, well, they're rival gang members. You really shouldn't live there. Nah, we'll put them in. And so here, take these bullets, fire with the real rounds. He's like, okay, well, I'm supposed to shoot with the rubber bullets first. You know what I'm saying? He had a whole thing, and they're like, yeah, no, but you can use these. He's like, yeah, but I'd rather use these. And, that's gonna kill the guy, and they'd be like, oh, bro, it's fine. They wanted him to do it because they were afraid he was going to tell on them.
Yes,
it was a whole. I mean, this went on for like a year or two. He eventually, he started working with the FBI and everything, and then finally they basically had to leave because he was in danger. They were going by his house. The cops are going by his house threatening him.
They would do that. Absolutely, they would do that.
But
correction officers are more corrupt than regular rank and file police officers.
No, it's because they can't even be regular. Like you ended up a CO because you couldn't be a cop.
Couldn't be a cop, right? Yeah, they're a lot more corrupt and a lot more violent. There's a lot more control, and there's less safeguards. Because what watchdog agency really gives a fuck about you?
No, nobody cares about an inmate. No.
Yeah.
How many inmates? Well, I don't know. How many inmates do you know, or guys that you know that got? I know tons that would get arrested. Their family or somebody would steal their identity, run up their credit cards, go in and take all their shit, and these guys, they have no way to complain. And even if they write a letter to the local cops saying, listen, man, these guys they stole my car, they stole this, they stole that, the cops aren't going to come out and take it. They're not going to, they don't give a fuck. They're not even responding. Like, I don't give a shit. Yeah. You get it, whatever comes to you, you get. No, that's just what happens.
Yeah.
Shit, I was going to say something.
Dope case. I caught a dope case. I got caught with, I think it was a half ounce. I got caught with a half ounce of weed, and he knew the inspector. The inspector in the MDOC, in the hierarchy, you have the warden, assistant warden, and the inspector. The inspectors are like Gestapo. The last person, I would rather the warden call me out than the inspector. The inspector, you don't want to, they're not nice people.
Right.
They're not nice people. When the inspector call your ass out, the inspector, if he calls you out, you in trouble. Period. You're in trouble. And in the MDOC, they have this thing called notice of intent. It doesn't even have to be a misconduct. They have a slick system where they write what they call an NOI, a notice of intent on you. And that notice of intent is worse than getting a misconduct because they don't have to have proof. All they have to have is suspicion. And the suspicion is based on them saying, we're suspicious. That's it. And your ass will be up north, rolled out in the hole for years. For years, without no misconduct. A notice of intent in Michigan is a bad motherfucker.
And that's what, well, they caught you with the stuff.
Yeah, they caught me with the shit. I was going to see parole board. I was going to see parole board in 2 weeks. I got caught at St. Louis. I was at St. Louis Correctional Facility up in Midland, Michigan. And I was going to see parole board in 2 weeks. The inspector came and he said, hey, listen, I know that this shit came from, he said the guy's name, one of my partners, right? I know where it came from, and I know he fucking one of my nurses, right? I need you to, I just need you to say, nod your head, yes or no, right? He said, I know this shit came from Skip murder. Skip is home now.
Right.
I know it came from Skip. I know he fucking my nurse, right? Because if you knock a nurse off, and you know, if you can get a nurse, a corrections officer.
I don't know because I've done it, but I know because of guys that have been here.
But like if you knock off a female, who's the best females knock off?
I mean, I don't know.
A CO is a good.
Yeah. Okay.
A nurse, because nurses have so much. Go to the infirmary for healthcare, get some head, fuck her.
So she can be in places that nobody
around.
Else can. Yes. You're supposed to be alone.
So you're supposed to be alone.
Right. Where it's a CO, they got a fucking. Well, I don't know how it's. Yeah, and everything's kind of, they're in the, there's people
in public eye, watchtowers, cameras, all that
they
kind of shit.
They have to really go out of their way to try and figure out a way. Meet me in the closet, and we'll have 4 minutes. And
right. Absolutely.
Not that I need 4 minutes, but
right,
some people.
Give me 2 good minutes and I'm straight.
What are we going to do for the other 2 minutes?
Right, look at each other. Right. All right, so the whole thing is, so it caught me with that shit. He said, man, I just need you to tell me where it came from. I mean, close my motherfucking door. Close my slot, bro. You hear me? He said, listen, if you tell me where it came from, I will. He said, you going to see the parole board. You got a parole board here in 2 weeks. I had a parole board here with the crime. Talk about crime. This was in 2004. I had been gone 12 years. I was going to see the parole board. I hadn't caught no misconduct. I had been a good boy. Right? I had been a good boy. I just knew I was going to get me a good parole. Man, I went in that moment. I said, he said, man, I will walk you into your hearing. And I would tell them what an exemplary prisoner you have been, how cooperative you have been. He said, I will walk you into your parole board hearing. I will guarantee you get a parole.
I'm thinking that didn't happen.
Not only did I not get a parole, it fucking sent me so far up north. It sent me so far up north. That bitch sent me to Barriga, Michigan. Barriga, Michigan. Okay, so listen, right? So this is the Lower Peninsula right here, right? Detroit is right here, right? I was at St. Louis. St. Louis is right here in mid-Michigan, right? This the Upper Peninsula right here. This bitch sent me on. I was on the other side of Wisconsin, bro. You get Milwaukee. What's the fucking baseball team name? The Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers baseball. You don't hear it. He sent me on the other side of Lake fucking Michigan, bro. When you get a map, you just put that on the other side of Lake Michigan. I'm on the Wisconsin side of Lake Michigan. Sit my ass way up there to a prison with Barriga Maximum Correctional Facility. It is, I think, it is probably Barriga Max and URF. URF is in Ken Ross, Kinslow, Michigan, right across the bridge. URF stands for you are fucked. That's what it stands for. You go there, racism. So racism is about a 10. On a scale from 1 to 8, it's about a 10. At Barriga Max, racism on a scale from 1 to 10, it is about a 20. It's about a 20. You a nigga all day. And they wish you would. Them big country corn-fed white boys will beat your ass to death. Ain't no.
Listen. We had a CO that had Nazi tattoos on his arm, and they made him wear a sleeve. But everybody knew why the sleeve was, and his name was Solo, and he was a like a UFC fighter. Like he was because these guys aren't. 90% of them they're not professional, right? They just did. And he was a semi-professional. Listen, this dude, he would stop. You'd be walking by him. He'd stop. Stop, turn around, and if you were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Boom! And you just see legs in the air. Boom! Right on the fucking ground. He'd jump on. He'd hit the button and fucking. It was over. He loved it. You could tell he
get off of it. He got off on it.
Yeah.
Hitting that button, the bad motherfucker. I had forgotten about the button. The
deuces.
Yeah.
They hit the deuces.
You hit that button. You hit that button. There's no understanding.
No.
You getting your ass beat.
Yeah.
Yes, your ass beat. That's like up there. There's no cover up. There's no you know they are Klansmen. They are Aryan Brotherhood, Aryan Nation, Aryan something. They mind comp reading motherfuckers. You hear me? They have it. They be at the desk reading it.
They not even hiding it.
No.
The Turner Diaries.
They bring the literature in for the inmates. Whatever new whatever fucking anti-Jew, anti-whatever, anti-Negro, they bringing it in and giving it to them. Whatever. David Duke was when I was in prison, he was the man still. You know what I'm saying? They love fucking David Duke, bro. I can just imagine what they're getting off from Trump right now. I can just imagine.
Do you know David Duke? No. Do you know what Mein Kampf is?
Oh, so
I
listen,
know the education
it is a
level.
Manifesto.
Yeah.
It is a Third Reich manifesto.
Yeah. Adolf Hitler wrote it when he was in prison. He wrote Mein Kampf, which is my struggle. And that was kind of like his, like you said, manifesto, or it was his kind of like, here's what's wrong and here's what we need to do about it.
Yeah.
It was a bestseller.
Set it in motion. Yeah, it still is.
The
Bible in mine, that's number 2. The Bible first, and that's number 2. Yes.
So all right. So it wasn't. So what you're saying is it wasn't an equitable situation up there for you. It wasn't a good time.
No.
Was it cold?
Yeah, it's fucking cold. Yes. It's snowing July up there. You know it's fucking cold up there. Yes, it's fucking snowing right now. What is this? June, July, tomorrow?
Yeah, July. It is snowing right now.
Yeah, it's snowing in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan right now. It is cold and it is a bitter. Listen, if you don't dislike white people,
I'm kind of a fan.
Go
myself,
up there.
but-
You go up there. When you leave, there's no way you can. If you spend any time up there as a prisoner in the MDOC, when you leave, you're going to hate white people. Period. Simple. There's nothing a white person can tell you. None of that kind of shit. And there's all kind of shit up there too. It's like good. Like people go up there for vacations and shit like that. I was asked to go up there to what fucking nuts? That's not no man. Because when you're a prisoner, you have a different take on all these natural shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I'm not going. If you ask me, you might as well you call it. You talk about my mama. Ask me to go up there for a vacation. It's not going to happen. Never. You cannot spend any measurable amount of time in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and leave liking white people. It's not going to happen. They're worse than Mississippi white people. Just imagine. You just draw the comparison. You think, oh, Mississippi worse. No,
You're not going to believe this. I've never had any problems with them.
I don't fucking believe you ain't. You, duh.
They've always treated me very well.
I bet you they have. You hear me? But listen, if you have listen, they do white people who with black friends, your ass is in
no
trouble.
good either. No.
Fuck no. They're gonna ask you, what the fuck are you doing? Right? And if you don't have a good excuse, right, your ass gonna get the same beating I'm gonna get. You gonna get the same shit. You tear up all your pictures of your kids, they're gonna tear your pictures of they're gonna tear up your children, they're gonna tear your pictures up while you stand there in handcuffs of your kids, tear them up. Or they're gonna take them and say, I'm gonna do that all the time.
So how long till you finally do get your 17 and a half?
I did 17 straight. I did 16 years, 9 months, 29 days.
I have a question. I heard on the last podcast that you did 3 months in the hole, or 3 years in the hole.
3 years IMAX for the police situation. I spent.
Can you explain?
Yeah,
what's the difference between the hole and the shoe? Like, what's
No
the hole like in
difference.
state? No,
There's no difference.
It's just different facilities some are worse. Some facilities are worse.
The higher
some are
level you
better.
go. Yeah. So when I first got to prison, MR Gladiator School, the hole was called the Graves. Graves, like a dungeon. It's like a medieval castle. So MR. So in Michigan, we had 3 prisons that were under federal consent decree because they were condemned. They were not supposed to be open. They were only allowed to be open because they were under a federal consent decree because they needed the space to house prisoners. It was
So it's like you either let us keep them here, or we got to let these guys go.
yes, right. So that meant that if you were housed in one of those 3 prisons, everything that you get in the feds, you have to get in those prisons because they're prisons under federal consent decree.
Yeah.
College, programming, the whole 9 yards, right? So the Graves, the Michigan Reformatory was like a castle, like a medieval castle, right? So you would get rewarded. You would get rewarded if nobody got killed in 3 months. The warden, her name was Big Ankles, aka Pam Withrow, right? We call her Big Ankles because her ankles was like this, right? All right. And she would bring in a donkey. So the inmates, it's a baseball diamond. And you hit the ball, jump on the donkey, and the donkey would ride you around the fucking the donkey, and she would give you ice cream, and they would do barbecue. But we would have to go 3 months without somebody dying, right? And that's 26 and younger, right? And 10 years or more, right? Or high tickets. No, I had high tickets and everything. So, and then what she would do was a furniture factory. So Michigan, so the knives. So knives were not called knives, they called them swords. Because the average knife in Michigan Reformatory was about between 12 to 14 inches. And they were razor sharp, like an arrowhead. It would be a piece of steel because it was a furniture factory. We made desks for schools and stuff like that. It was prison industry shit, right? So the knives would be like this long. The knives are so big, I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you gonna do with that? It's like you gonna hit him and knock him out? If you stab I've seen people get stabbed in here and go out the back of them, like Dracula. It was like some Dracula shit, right? So now you're gonna die. I've seen the eye out, drowned in the toilet. I've seen people get drowned in the toilet, run up in the cell and drown them in the toilet. The prison was so bad that when you flush your toilet, I had to flush my toilet if I'm next to you, so the shit can go down. Because if I flush my toilet and you don't flush your toilet, then my shit is gonna come up in your toilet. That's how much of a condemned facility it was. It was condemned. So we would all say flush, and so you have 7 to 8 guys flush, and so the water pressure would flush the shit down and out. You would wake up in the morning, we had to sleep with a towel over our toilet because you wake up in the morning, it'd be shit in your toilet from the guy 1 or 2 cells over. That's how terrible it was. And then if we didn't kill somebody every night, if we can go 90 days without somebody dying, then she would get a flatbed pickup truck, and then she would pull it up outside the fence. They would have white strippers and music playing, and then we all be at the fence like some fucking zoo animals, right? Eating ice cream, riding the fucking donkey around with the white girl strippers outside the fucking on the semi truck. You ask,
It's a carnival.
it doesn't exist anymore like that, right? It was Michigan Reformatory. You ask anybody who's been in MDOC, with the old MR, when they had bars, not the cell doors, you would die. It would kill you. They would kill you. It would kill you. The guards would kill you. Yeah, guard. The graves, you would go to the graves. It was like the Count of Monte Cristo before he became the Count.
Yeah.
When you come out the graves, your eyes are sensitive to light. It's called the graves for a reason. You're meant to die down there.
So what? So how long till you? Well, you said
Well,
that, but then the question was, you go into the
hole for 3 years, 36 months. Yeah. I think it was 36 months for fucking up the Aryan Brotherhood and the police at MR.
right.
They sent me from MR to IMAX, and then from IMAX I went to Oaks Max level 5. Then from Oaks Max I went to Standish Max. From Standish Max I went to Munison Max. I went from Munison Max back to Oaks Max, and I went from Oaks Max to St. Louis, and then St. Louis level 4. I went back up to fucking Berrigan Max. Berrigan Max is the worst prison. Berrigan Max and URF. You are fucked. Don't get no worse than that. So I did level 5. So level 5 is 23 and 1. You're locked up 23 hours a day. You're only out for 1. You get 20 minutes to eat. So it's really so 23 and 1 is really more than 23 and 1, because in level 5s in Michigan, you're locked up 23 hours a day. You come out, you have 20 minutes to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's an hour. 20 minutes from the time they open your door. Your ass back in that cell in 20 minutes, or you're gonna get a ticket out of place misconduct ticket, right? And then you get 6 minutes to take a shower. You get 6 minutes. You go in the shower, water on. You got 6 minutes to lather up and then turn it off. And you get 1 hour a yard a day. So it's really like you're locked up 22 hours, 20 and
So it's roughly 2 hours. About 2 hours.
2 hours
with all the breaks.
unless you have a job.
Yeah.
If you go to school, or you have a job in the kitchen, or if you're a porter, you can come out more than that, but you're locked up.
Those are the guys that used to come to the Fed. And I'm pretty sure that Josh said this too, but I remember this one guy, Apollonia, used to talk about being in Florida State Prison, where you get your food, you go and you sit down and you eat, and they're basically counting, you know, 1 minute, you got 1 minute left, and then they're eating.
Yes.
They eat and then they get up and they
All
leave.
they talking?
Yeah.
Ain't no talking in child hall.
Well, he used to talk all the time, where guys would be like, "You gonna eat the biscuit?" The biscuit. That's actually, but you're gonna eat that. Yeah, no, here, and you swap. He's like, "Oh, no swapping.
No swapping.
There's no giving fucking buddy.
No,
hey, you want
no.
like the cookie? You want that? No.
You got to do it under the table. You got to do it real smooth.
They're like, you look down, you eat, you get
That's
your
level
shit
5.
up, and you walk. He's
That's
like,
level
that's
5. Level 5. But level 5 is also violent. You know what I'm saying? Anything is a weapon.
We'd be in the chow hall for fucking hours. I go sit down and eat, and you could go back through.
Oh, no.
Get your shit again.
So in the lower level, you go. So Michigan, you have level 1 to level 5. Level 5 is max joint.
Right.
They call me max joint baby. I'm a max joint baby. So when you're a max joint baby, when you come down to lower levels, you have people in the lower levels like, oh, he from the max joint. Oh, fuck no, because they know that you're surrounded by acute violence and just crazed, depraved shit. They know.
You're not talking out your problems.
What?
You're not going to talk.
Talk. Listen, in level 5, level 5 is so violent. Talking out a problem? No, there's no talking. Even level 4s. In level 4s, there's some negotiation. if you're level 4 in Michigan. There's some negotiation. Level 5, no, they're trying to kill you. And then the violence is really violent because if you get into a fight, there's so many officers in level 5, you only got like good 60 seconds to fight.
Right.
So people are trying to inflict the greatest amount of damage as fast as possible. So, like when I came out of prison, I got into a couple of scuffles. I beat the fuck out of them because, you know what I'm saying? I'm used to inflicting damage fast. You ain't got no 10 minutes to be fighting no motherfucking no cell. No, I'm gonna beat your ass really, really fast.
I got a minute.
I got a minute. Psychologically, I got a minute to fuck your ass up. That's how it goes.
So when they call you in for the parole,
Mhm.
you is it just like that? You go in front of a board. There's like 5 people, and is that how
No, normally, so the Michigan, so back then there was like 9, 10 parole board members, and normally one member would come to a prison and they would schedule you. You know you're going to parole. They would tell you like about 30, 60 days before it's time for you to go. You know, because they got to fill out a report.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And the report is all the programming you've done since the last time you saw the parole board, if you've ever saw them. All the stuff you've done, any certificates you've earned, any misconducts, all that stuff is in there. You know what I'm saying? What your crime is, all that kind of shit. So you go sit in front of the parole board. It's just like right here is a parole board hearing. This how it look, plain table, nothing that an inmate can use as a weapon, right? Just like this, no nothing, just this. And they have your folder. They have a stack of folders right here. Austin, boom, flip through. Oh, you asshole, right? Flip that shit back. You know what I'm saying? And then in Michigan, they had 12-month, 18-month, and 24-month flops. Continuations, they call flop. We call them flops, though. So they can give you a year, an 18-month, or a 24-month continuation. Just imagine you going to the parole board, they say, you get the shit, because they don't tell you right on the spot because you fucking go ballistic. So you get the shit under your door, they put a slide up on your door. And you're like, I get my shit, and it's like a piece of paper and it's stapled. You unstable the bitch. 24 months. 24-month continuation. But your whole family know, I'm going to the parole board. Right? So you got your kids. Daddy coming home? Yeah, you have to come home. And you get this shit. And like the feds, when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
They play with you. And they give you a minimum sentence and a maximum sentence in Michigan. You can get a 3 to 20. You can get a 1 to 40. You can get you know what I'm saying? They can literally hold you to your maximum date depending on your conduct. They can hold you. I know motherfuckers who came to prison with a 1 to 20 and did 20. He maxed it.
You almost did 20.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is I was already set on maxing out.
Right.
I had already told myself because I knew I caught maybe 45 tickets while I was in prison. And all of them were fighting or assault.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. You know what I'm saying? So I had already told myself that I'm gonna max out. You know what I'm saying? I was psychologically
prepared.
I was already prepared. It was just like Shawshank Redemption. You know how when Morgan Freeman went in there,
That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, he went in there like this. He leaned back. Because you can wear your own clothes and go to parole board hearing. You put your outfit on and go. I went in there with the state blues on. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't shave or nothing. I wasn't even going to go to the hearing. There's a guy, one of my main guys in the MDOC, his name is Tricky. L.A. Tricky. He's a Crip from L.A., right? He was never going home. He caught a bank robbery in California. Then he went to Mississippi on the run, caught bank robbery, and then he came to Michigan, did a bank robbery, and killed a Michigan state trooper in Michigan. He never going home, right? So I was around lifers, even though I didn't have life. When you're around lifers and you don't have life, it does, you play it like they play it. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be on there, you got to be on the same type of shit they on. The same I don't give a fuck attitude they have, you got to be on the same shit. So they like, oh, hey, Austin, the parole board. They buzzed my door back. I mean, close my motherfucking door. I ain't going to see no motherfucking parole board. I said, close my door back. I stuck my head out. Say parole. I said, what's this here? I didn't even realize it was I didn't even realize the date was I ain't going. So they buzzed my door back. Austin, a parole board. Report to the control center. I looked at it. I said, call my motherfucking door back. I know I ain't finna get no parole. I know I ain't finna get no parole. Come on, motherfucking dope back. The NBA finna come on in a minute. Come on, dope back. I ain't going to no motherfucking parole, boy. I sat there. So he's right across the hall from me. He came to the door. He said, what the fuck is you doing? I said, what you mean? He like, man, he said, listen, bro, I'm never going home. I'm going to die. I don't have kids or nothing. I'm never going home. He said, man, you stupid ass nigga. Anytime you get the opportunity to go and speak up for your own freedom, you take it. What the fuck is wrong with you over there? I said, I'm going to max out. I got about 3-4 more years left. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Because when you finna max out, I'd rather just max out than go be on parole. Say, nah, fuck that. I'm just going to max out and then fuck it. I don't give a fuck. You hear me? He said, listen, man, you fucking nuts, bro. He said, man, you act like a dumbass nigga over there. He said, bro, anytime you get the opportunity, as articulate as you are, as, you know what I'm saying? Whenever you get the opportunity to go speak up for your own freedom, you never not take that opportunity. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm never going home. And I'm glad I'm talking about him now, so I got to send him some money. Because he's the one. So I went there, but I didn't get, because if you have clothes, you wear clothes. If you have state blues, you crease them up and shit. Yeah. You get yourself all, get it, shave up and shit. Look, go sit up straight. I swear to God, man, I went there, motherfuckers slouching like this. Like that. So, and it was the parole board chairman. There's a chairman. It was Barbara Sampson. She was like, so it was like a non-conventional parole board hearing. Normally they ask you, hey, what you, blah, blah, blah. She looked through my shit and she said, if you were to get a parole, what's the first thing you would do? I said, shit. Now I said, shit, because you don't be cussing from the parole board. I said, shit. Right? I said, shit. Man, I go get my motherfucking kids taking get some ice cream. Quote, unquote. Right? No, you don't cuss in front of the parole board. You don't do that. You do not cuss. Right. Right? You bring your best behavior. Even if you're a fucking savage in there, you come out. I said, shit, man. I'll get my motherfucking kids taking get some ice cream, man. My kids grew up while I was in, you know what I'm saying? So she's like, you wouldn't go and get you a lady friend? Like, fuck no. I've been jacking off for 20 years. You didn't say that, did you? Yes. I said I've been jacking off. I've been jacking off for 20 I've been, you know what I'm saying? I'm jacking off 20 years. No, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I can wait. I would go, my kids. I would go spend time with my kids, taking this, you know what I'm saying? I would go be with my kids. No, it's like, she said, I've never heard nobody say that. I think I was cussed. I didn't give a fuck. I know I'm not finna get no parole, man. Right. I know I'm not finna get no, and no sense of anything playing. Like Shawshank Redemption, that's real. I'm not even gonna
the one time he went in and said, listen.
I swear to God.
You know?
I swear to God to my kids, that's what happened at that hearing. I didn't think I was getting no parole. I left out that parole board hearing. I said, I know I fucked that up. Oh well. NBA finals. I'm finna go watch the NBA. Do a cook up. You know what I'm saying? I had a nacho do ready with the meat stick and the pickles and the cheese stick and the cheese, tub of cheese and the, you know what I'm saying? So the peppers, the popping peppers, the yellow peppers.
I understand.
Well, you get what I'm saying. Yeah. You feel what I'm coming from with that, right?
You got a whole thing ready.
Nacho do. We call it nacho do. Right? And so about a month went by. So I went to talk to the counselor. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't had no points. They sent me to level 4 for notice of intent for a robbery. Right. That they couldn't prove I did it. They had no evidence, but they couldn't write me a ticket, a misconduct. So they wrote me an NOI, a notice of intent, and sent me to level 4. No points. So I wasn't even supposed to be here. I couldn't go to level 1 because I had a very high assault risk and a high property risk. So I could never go to a level 1, right? Even if I had a parole, I couldn't go to level 1. So I went to talk to the counselor about, hey, man, get me the fuck up out of here, man. The counselor was new. You know, when the counselors are new, they green.
Yeah. They still think they're going to make a difference.
Yeah, that type of shit, right? So I went there and I said, man, let me, because you're supposed to get permission to go talk to the counselor. I went there, I'm like, man, when he ratted me out, man, I'm supposed to have rat out in, man, when get my transfer in, right? So he looked, he's like, what's your name? I've been bugging him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went through, look, he said, so your transfer is in, now, mind you, I'm across the bridge in UP where you are fucked. That's where I was at, right? Like I'm a parole. And he said, this should say P29. They had changed the codes, right? He said, what's a P29? I don't know. I'm just standing there. I'm sneaking because I'm supposed to be in the day room, right? So he called another counselor, like, what's the P29? He said, P29 is a parole. I can hear through the phone. I heard him say parole. But that shit didn't register to me. Now I'm fucking retarded. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so I heard you say parole, but I didn't hear it. Like my mama told me about my daddy. I heard shit, but I didn't hear it, right? So he said, he said, okay, thank you. Hung up. He said, hey, you got a parole. You say P29 parole. He looked up the code, said parole. Mound Road. Mound Road is in Detroit. I hadn't been nowhere near Detroit in 17 years. So they had some shit called a reentry program. So P29 meant reentry program. P was program.
Yeah.
29 is parole. So you go to Mound Road in Detroit. I hadn't smelled Detroit because Detroit has a smell to it. Not I ain't saying something derogatory, but
Right.
this is the music, the feeling, right? So he said, I start stuttering. Like, bro. I start stuttering. I say, he said, man, you got pro. I said, man, stop playing me, bro. I got kids, man. Stop playing me, man. Stop playing me, man. Don't play with me, man. He said, no. He said, come here. So I stepped in. So I wasn't supposed to be in there without permission.
Yeah.
So I stepped in there. He turned the screen around. He looked, went down. He said, look, P29, Mound Road, transfer in, get pro. So listen, in the Michigan Department of Corrections, the higher level you in, you don't want to tell nobody you got no parole.
Oh, they get jealous. They might fuck. They start trying you because they know you're.
Yeah, even
You've
the
been
most
declawed.
gangsters, they motherfuckers never going home.
Yeah.
The higher level you go, the more desperate and destitute people are psychologically, never going home. So the general rule is you don't tell nobody you got a parole because somebody will make you jack it off. That's what it's called. Jack your parole off. All of a sudden they want to fight. Like, bro, you know I stabbed you. Why you gonna make me jack my parole off? You know I was fucking stab you, bro. Go on. They don't want to pay your shit. I ain't giving you shit. You know how you get the prisoner store? Your 2-for-1s. They don't want to pay your shit. What you gonna do? You got parole. What you gonna do? You wanna fight? We can fight. Then they want to fight right in front of the police. They don't want to go in their cell and fight. They want to fight.
They just want to fuck your shit up.
Yes, I was scared. I've only been scared one time in prison, like literally. I've been fearful, but I'm talking about scared.
Yeah.
Like, so broke out in the sweat, and that's when I got that fucking parole. So I'm like, oh man, and I did so much shit to people. People start hearing I got a parole, they would love it. Tell on you, he doing this, or whatever the case may be. A motherfucker will swing on you right in front of the police, knowing you're gonna swing back. You know what I'm saying? Knowing you swing on me, bitch, I'll fall down your bitch ass right now. Bitch, you swing on me, I'm gonna fall down, bitch. I'm going home. I got a parole. I was shocked. Everybody who knew me was shocked. That was terrible. I was shocked. I was literally shocked. I went to my cell, and it took them about 2 weeks to rat me out. I didn't come out. I stopped coming out. I stopped going wherever you are. I stopped going. No.
2 weeks for what? Oh,
It took him, when he told me, it took him 2 weeks for him to rat me out.
Okay.
He wrote me out from you are fucked down to Mound Road, which is in Detroit, and that's why I got
before
my
you're on
parole
a transfer, right?
Yeah. I didn't come out my cell. No, you bitches ain't finna give me like that.
I told you that. Remember the guy? God, I forget his name. God, I can't believe I can see him too. We just finished RDAP. He was in for halfway house, and he was leaving in like a month.
Ain't coming
And
out.
something, we were all standing around. Something happened, and I made a comment, and God, what was his name? Like, I can't remember. But anyway, somebody goes, "Oh, you better watch out, Schuler do whatever." And I looked over at him. He looked at me. I said, "Shit." I said, he's leaving in 2 weeks to go to halfway house or whatever. I said, he ain't doing nothing. He said, "I'm gonna tell you the truth, Cox." And he walked over to me. I thought, "Oh shit," And he goes, "I'm so fucking close." He said, "You could slap me dead in my fucking shit right now. I wouldn't do a fucking thing." He goes, "You understand me?" Like, and I was like, "No, I get it." He was like, but he's still, he's a big guy, but he was. I understand because I know that's what happens.
Hey, listen, when I left the street, there was no Riverwalk in Detroit. There was no casinos. None of that shit.
Oh yeah.
I left the street in 1992. There was no casino. There was no Riverwalk. When I left the street, see, Detroit is a reverse city. Detroit is the only city that has a coastline where it was underdeveloped. Detroit's downtown area and the Riverwalk area, it was all mob shit. They never developed it. It wasn't like San Antonio or like Miami. The Detroit's riverfront was it was warehouse, dead bodies.
Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Tampa Bay's nice. Like you go down there, you can walk the whole thing. There's tons of restaurants and everything. It's all very developed.
Yeah, it's none of that. It's still underdeveloped right now, right? But it was when I left the street was none of that. No casinos, none of that shit.
So okay, so when you went back, what was it like?
Went back where? When it came home?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I was good because my wife had a really good job.
Right.
right? And
You're
so she had
still
already
married. It's been 17 years.
Yeah, I came home and got married to my kid's mother.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I came home and she didn't
What
necessarily wait on
happened?
me.
What happened to the first wife?
She divorced me,
Oh,
son of a bitch. She divorced me. she divorced me, but I ain't gonna call her son of a bitch.
Right.
We have a decent relationship now, right? You know what I'm saying? I was a piece of shit when I was in the street. You know, so you a piece of shit. Come on, right? It is, right? And she divorced me. I was in the county jail. She divorced me. She sent me. I got the divorce papers when I was in the county jail. So I got the divorce papers and sentenced the same day. Really bummer day. Really bummer for me.
So
It's a bummer.
when you came back, were you saying when you came back that the coastline of Detroit, that it was all
Developed.
it was all more developed?
Yeah, it's more developed. Casinos were already there. It was a different world. You know, everything was different. I did 17 years. Nothing was the same.
So when did
atmosphere
you
was different.
when did you go in?
I went in 1992. I came home in
When'd you come out?
May 13, 2009. I came home. I got locked up
yeah.
November 7th, 1992. I came home May.
Oh, so there was you missed the whole internet, the whole
Oh, yeah,
now
well,
it's yeah.
Yeah, when I came home, yeah, I missed all that shit, bro. We still had cell phones and briefcases and NECs, the NEC joints, with the little square, the rectangular shaped joints. No, hell no.
But in 2009, so Facebook was just starting to kind of boom.
Yeah, Facebook, MySpace was dying out.
It was kind of dead. Yeah,
Yeah, MySpace was dying out. Facebook was really king.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter wasn't even Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Facebook was like king. I came home. I didn't even look like I had been gone all that time. So I had a car. I had clothes. She spent like $5-6 grand on clothes alone for me. I came home with True Religions was really popular. True Religions was probably when I came home in 2009, and the mortgage shit had started to happen with the mortgage people. The mortgage because
you came in 2009, but
Yeah,
that's
that shit was
that's
right
full
there.
blown collapse. Everything's going down
They had
as you're there.
collapsed. Yeah, because I was in prison. Guys who I was in prison with, they were in prison in the state joint for the mortgage fraud, all that kind of shit, right? I'm like, you what? You lying, bitch? Somebody, bitch, you ain't did no mortgage shit. Bitch, they say you lying. And in Michigan is so crazy. In the MDOC, you can go to prison for being behind your child support.
Wow.
If you $10,000 or more in arrears in child support, guys would come to prison for child support. I said, you a liar. You something. You ain't. Yes, no. Child support will get you sent to prison. Fuck
I don't
Bill
think
Clinton.
that
That was Bill Clinton did that. Fuck Bill Clinton.
I don't think you can get in Florida. I don't think you can go for child support.
Yeah, but Florida, it's too hot to go to prison down here. I'm going to tell you that right
No,
now.
that he's got no AC.
Fucking chain
But
gang
listen,
shit.
anytime somebody mentions Florida State Prison, my first thought is there's no air conditioning.
Right.
Like fucking, like that's just the most miserable thing I could think of is
Right.
no air conditioning.
Down south anywhere, no air conditioning, that's a deal breaker
Yeah.
with me. You got a fan, though. They give you a fan.
So
Shit.
the actor from Elf who was recently arrested
Oh, yeah.
is in Tampa, Florida for criminal contempt of court. He was held on an active warrant connected to unpaid child support in a reopened paternity case.
Oh, so he is going to. So they did arrest. That's what he was arrested for.
I mean, that's what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe you can, I guess.
Yeah. That's Bill
Hey,
Clinton.
this is you.
The Democrats.
Do you know anything? Being a Michigan guy, Detroit, you have any info or opinions on the NFL player from Detroit currently locked up in Tampa?
Stupid.
You know anything about that?
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah.
One word, stupid. Hey,
Yeah, I
listen,
don't
listen, I don't give a fuck who broke into what. All that shit is insured. That is you obviously on some thug shit. Hey, listen. This as a people, right? We work hard to build better lives for ourselves, whether it is illegal or legal. We work hard to get there. You got to be a special kind of stupid motherfucker to be in the NFL. Whatever you have, you can get it back.
Mm.
Whatever you had is more likely than not insured. You that is the epitome of being of listen, talk about short-sightedness. Talk about not valuing your position, your status in life. I don't have any sympathy for motherfuckers who've crawled their way out of poverty, right? Or out of the ghetto. And then you're not taking into account, you not consider how far you can fall and how fast. I don't have any sympathy for motherfuckers like that. I don't have sympathy for rappers. I don't have sympathy for motherfuckers who are millionaires, who choose to do the dumbest shit in the world, and most of them come from poverty. They come from, So if you are willing to trade your life and trade your freedom, trade your status, because somebody broke in your house, man, fuck that shit. You can get it back.
It's like O.J. Simpson got a total pass, and then went and fucking kicked in that dude's door or tried for some memorabilia that he says was stolen from him. And those are just stupid. Like, you got a pass, bro.
Yeah.
That didn't happen the second time.
No, hell no. It just is what it is. They tore his ass up. You know what I'm saying? Tore his ass up.
What are we doing?
What do we want to get into after prison, getting out? Like, what do you got in 09? So
I started businesses when I came home. I started income tax company. So I have a full financial services company. I started a property management company. I make good money. I make over $1 million a year.
Look at this. This is ridiculous. No. Like the story you just fucking told, and you get out, and you start a.
I went to H&R Block Tax School when I started an income tax company. When I came home, so here's an interesting story. When I came home, and this is a Michigan thing. What was happening when I came home in 2009? Ford, Chrysler, and GM were buying out, right? They were buying out their employees. So they would give you $40,000 a car and buy you out. There, you be going, right? So what happened was, when I came home, I got a job instantly, right? What happened was that my wife, it was her idea, because my resume has a gap in it.
Yeah. Right.
My resume has a gap in that motherfucker to the tune of 17 years, right? So I was in college and I went to prison. I came home. So how do we explain this resume shit?
Right.
My wife said, hey, listen, Ford, Chrysler, and GM, people are taking buyouts. Once you took the buyout for Ford, Chrysler, and GM, their HR departments did not keep track of the people who took buyouts, right? So we're going to say that you worked for Chrysler from 1992 to 2007. You took the buyout. You started the business collapsed, so it forced you back into the job market.
Right.
That explained it. And she knew, because of her position that she worked in, she worked for the government, that the private sector, the federal government, I've worked at General Motors. I was the site operations manager over the GM powertrain plant. I managed the entire physical property, 2.5 million square feet of property. And it was a test facility because it was the first GM plant that had robotic high-lows. I ran the entire facility inside and out. I was home 6 months, and I was making $140,000 a year in that job. I had PSRB meetings, monthly meetings, where the department heads of each department in the plant had to come and report out in front of the plant manager and assistant plant manager, including so you had the union bosses there too, local Ray Woods, Steve Rubley, who was the president for Local 400, and then you had the pipe fitters, Local 900 there, and we were all reporting out about everything going on in the plant. I went from there to Chrysler. I was a shift supervisor for Chrysler in Detroit, starting stamping plant for 2 years, and I went from there to Detroit Metropolitan Airport. I was a supervisor at the McNamara Terminal at Detroit Metropolitan Airport. When I went to interview for the job, didn't think I was going to get it because I'm a fucking criminal. I had no idea that the feds have more lenient hiring practices than the private sector do. You can't work if you don't have a felony in 10 years, you don't have a misdemeanor in 5 years, you can work under a federal contract in a federal facility. You can't work in law enforcement, but you can work in a federal facility.
Yeah.
They have more lenient hiring practices than the private sector do. And then my wife, she also knew that so in high turnover rate jobs, like the plant, like Ford, Chrysler, and GM, the turnover rate is high as hell. They don't do lifetime background checks. They don't do state police background checks because so they do 7 years or 10 years. The longer you look back, the more it costs to do a background check. So most jobs do 17 years. I've been gone 17. I don't have to even say I had a felony. I've been gone 17 fucking years.
Right.
So I put down I work for Chrysler from 1992. How you gonna check it? I took the buyout. The HR department, they did away with the records. They don't keep track of who took the buyout. There's no way for you to check to see if I did it or didn't.
Right.
So I worked for Cisco Systems, the food distribution company. I was in charge of the Canton, Michigan facility and the Chicago, Illinois facility. The last W-2 job, where I was on salary employee, but the last W-2 job I had was in 2017. I launched my income tax company. I launched my income tax company in 2015, but my last salary position was in 2017. So I have an income tax company. We specialize in all things income tax. I can give you my spiel if you want me to. Right? I specialize in all things income tax, from corporate tax, payroll tax, of course, self-employment. And so we don't just work from January to April, which is tax season, work year round, because we also specialize in audit cleanups as well. And we also specialize. Have you ever seen a commercial where it says if you're in trouble with the IRS for more than $10,000, you may qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative?
Yeah.
But the Fresh Start Initiative is just a televised, publicized term. The real term is called an offering compromise. So if you owe the IRS, or if you're in debt with the IRS for more than 10 grand, they have to settle with you for less than a third. And in many cases, it's less than 10% of what you owe, but you have to fill out the paperwork in order to qualify. We do that as well. We do audit cleanups. We specialize in getting liens and levies lifted off of real property, bank accounts, and stuff like that. And we also specialize in, and we also have, so that morphed into credit repair. We also do credit repair. So most people who know me, they know this. I don't have a lot of friends, but the people who know me, they know this about me.
Right.
So people are like, well, your Instagram, like you sell drugs. No, I got all this shit that a rapper got. You know what I'm saying? I don't sell drugs, I don't do it, and I own a property management company too. So I own 23 pieces of property in the city of Detroit that I rent out, including 4 pieces of commercial property. So I came home and I got to it.
Vastly different than your upbringing, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you would
yeah.
never. That's what I'm saying is like you would, based on the story up till the release of prison, you would never think that was the was the second act.
Yeah. So I know more about the IRS and IRS tax laws than most of our large scale clients come from CPAs. They come from CPAs who are disgruntled with their CPA. A CPA doesn't mean that you're a tax expert. A CPA means you're a bookkeeper.
Right.
You took a class in your pursuit to get your degree to become a certified public accountant. That don't mean you're a tax expert. Most of our large scale clients, we have clients that owe the IRS $700,000, $800,000, get their debt reduced to $50,000. I've done stuff for people in the rap community. I've helped a lot of people out. But I don't talk about it because that part of my life is not congruent with the whole Dawgface shit.
Yeah, that's
I
not.
want people to be like,
not
oh, he
as flat.
mean.
Come
He
on,
mean.
that's not as cool.
Yeah, it ain't cool. I want them to think I sell drugs or whatever you think. You know, whatever you think I do, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this. If you want to follow Dawgface Calderon, please go into the description box. The main link he wants you to go to is Instagram, so you can check out all of his stuff and also check out his YouTube channel. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. If you want to be a guest, we're going to leave our link for our website, so you can go there, you can fill out a form, leave a short video, and be considered to be a guest on Inside True Crime. Thank you very much. See ya.